Hi, friends. Welcome in. It is a rivalry week here on The Fan, Portland Sports Leader 105.1 FM, 1080 The Fan, the Odyssey app. Patrick Harris with you, Daniel Meringue to my left.
Indeed.
Great little weekend, short week. This might be
Does set up quite nicely.
This might be a setup for all things coming up Millhouse, you know? Just feeling real positive about everything. Had a nice little weekend, had a wonderful Sunday with my wife.
There you go.
As I was absent on Friday night and most of Saturday. I'll tell you what, man, passenger princess life for
You liking that?
the win. A giant shout out to my amigo Kenny up in the Seattle area, Kent, Washington to be specific, in borrowing his vehicle to escort me down to Eugene. Had wonderful seats, great company, a great weekend. I can't thank him enough for that.
No, it was a great weekend. Even though my boys lost, it was a good game. Had massive plays. The company I had was even better. So got to spend the weekend with some good people, good person, special lady.
Yeah, I'm really excited about. Yeah, I got to hang out with one of my old school besties. We used to play music together and stay in touch over the years, and we're really good buddies. And I was glad to hang out with him. I can't hammer down on this more about how excited. If I've got to look at positives for why my alma mater is not in these kind of games anymore, and why I can be okay with it if I want to, like, glass half full it, is that I'm able to go down to a game like Oregon and USC and kind of just
Chill.
enjoy it and just not really care. You know, like I say,
I cared.
I know you care. And I say this on this program all the time. And, you know, to pull the curtain back a little bit, I am not a Duck fan, but all that Duck hatred I used to have is kind of gone. Like, I don't play in the same conference. I don't play the same sport as you anymore. So a lot of that stuff's kind of gone. I hate the Big Ten, and I hate everybody in the Big Ten. So, like, that's just where my life is.
Did you wear Coug gear?
I did not. I went full neutral. I was afraid of wearing Coug gear that from afar it would look like I was wearing SC gear. So I was wearing, like, blues.
Okay.
Yeah.
Real quick, shout out to Duck fans. Duck fans were super cool.
They were fantastic. Shout out to Paul and his crew who hosted me and my friend Wes for a little bit during the tailgating. Great guys.
We were walking around in the tailgate area before the game, and it was funny. Tiff got to see a little bit of the a few Duck fans were like, gave me a little bit of crap, but it was all fun. Nobody was. What's really funny is there was a Notre Dame fan there wearing a Notre Dame jersey, and he was the biggest jerk of them all. Shockingly.
What are you doing there, bud?
That's what I was saying. I was like, what? He was the only one where I kind of like threw my hands up, like, what are you doing, dude?
Now, I have been in Eugene during an Oregon UW game with Wazoo gear on to troll Husky fans.
That's fun.
But I live 2.5 hours away.
Yeah.
Like, you're a Notre Dame fan going to Eugene? Like, I mean, I assume he lives Portland.
Probably relatively close.
Relatively
and going
close.
watching USC Oregon, it's top 15 matchup.
I don't know if I put the Notre Dame gear on.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Nerd. But otherwise, everybody was awesome, man.
I would have accepted Husky gear. I would have not have accepted Notre Dame.
Yeah, no, it's like, what are you doing here? You're not even in the same conference.
Only thing worse would have been UCLA.
Yeah, it was great, but they know better. They know better not to show their face. But no, everybody down was super cool. We had a great time, other than it just being biting cold.
Oh, I didn't mind it that much.
Yeah, we had the blankets and the hand warmers and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, it was tough.
Well, I put down 5 tallies of craft beer before I walked in the stadium.
Warmed you up?
My boys, Paul and his tailgating crew, I got there and I went, he goes, what? I go, right there. In there? He goes, what about in there? I go, is there a Fireball in there? He was like, damn, you Cougs are good. I found the Fireball. I don't love Fireball. It gives me really bad acid reflux, but
you Cougs can smell it out.
It's just like, he starts scratching.
We ended up getting a bucket of nachos. They call it the big nacho, and splitting that. And it comes in like a little football. Some chicken and some black beans, some queso. Did a little hot cocoa after the first quarter to warm back up a little bit.
I had some hot cocoa in the fourth quarter because I needed to like sober up a little bit. I wasn't hammered, but I needed to sober up a little bit, and I burnt my tongue really badly. It's still to this day.
It's super hot. I was very, very, very thankful for that because that warmed the bones, as it were. So, But yeah, no, Duck fans were awesome. I had the best company possible down there with me. Had a really good time driving there, driving back.
Shout out to the concession stand. When I first got there, I bought 2 Modelo, like big cans.
Tall boys, yeah.
And you got to crack them, right?
Mhm.
So the attendant, she cracks fully one of them, and then the other one is the ever so slightest crack on it.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like legally that was open.
It's open.
But it was basically closed.
Yeah. It's
And
let
I
it
was
out,
like-
but it's like it's not open.
I just want to say praise you, lady.
Yeah.
I tipped. I was
Yeah.
like, I'm tipping here. That was amazing service.
There you go.
I was very
It's the
happy.
simple things in life.
Because then I didn't touch that for a while and it stayed cold and didn't oxidize or
Yeah.
anything. It's fantastic.
No, it was a good time. I would have much rather come back with a win. But for everybody watching YouTube, I do not have the face paint on. Amazon did not deliver. Dirt has been made aware. It was purchased.
I have
It was.
seen the screenshot.
It has been ordered, but Amazon did not deliver for me. So as an olive branch, I wore the closest thing to Oregon green that I own in my closet.
I can't
So
believe you own something that close to Oregon Green.
It's close.
It's pretty close.
It's pretty close.
It's got a little forest in it.
Yeah.
So it's a touch darker. The TV, the YouTube doesn't make it look as good.
no, because it's a bright green.
It's a green.
Yeah. So
You even got complimented in the office. Somebody's like, nice shirt.
Yeah.
You were like, ugh.
yeah, it's just. But yeah, no, the face paint is en route. It just has not been delivered yet.
En route.
Yeah.
En route. I did not dabble in the steaks of Junction City.
No, you didn't risk it for the biscuit, huh?
No, we got in there. The Airbnb had a hot tub, and we were like, ooh, let's do that.
Ooh, oh yeah.
Yeah.
Especially on nice cool crisp night.
Mm-hmm.
When I was stationed in North Dakota, we used to do this thing called polar bearing, and we had a hot tub out back, and we had it's like weirdly enough, there's almost no hills in North Dakota, but we had one that was probably like I don't know, 15 feet tall. It was pretty steep down outside the hot tub, and in the wintertime, it just freezes over. It's not snow; it just like basically a block of ice.
Mhm.
So what you do is you sit in the hot tub and you get real warm, you get real wet, and then it was a race. You know, whether it's shots or pound of beer, whatever it was. Last one to finish had to hop out of the hot tub and slide down polar bear style, chest first down the hill.
Yeah, I'm not doing that.
And it was like, at the warmest, like 10 degrees outside.
I'm surprised y'all thought it was super cold out there. I thought it was totally fine. I enjoyed myself. Maybe I just prepare for that. Maybe that's the Wazoo in me. Been to some cold Martin Stadium games. You know, I always talk about
What's the coldest?
the Crapple Cup?
What's the coldest sporting event you've ever been to?
probably the Crapple Cup.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it was 13 degrees.
Oh God, it was that cold?
Yeah, I've done a Halloween in Pullman at 2 degrees.
That's tough.
I know, and I felt bad for all the hot chicks being the hots. That I was also a sexy nurse that year for Halloween, just to understand what
Just-
their plight.
You were struggling with them.
I wanted to understand their plight. Yeah, I did have high, like tight socks sort of things, like the nurse would, to put a little bit of a warmth on me. But I wanted to feel how they feel.
I felt bad for the cheerleaders for Oregon.
They wore jackets.
Oh, they were wearing jackets on the sideline?
I just
Okay.
watched. I just rewatched the game.
Okay,
And they were wearing jackets.
Every time they went out
The
there,
SC girls were not wearing
Nope.
jackets.
Nope. It was but every time they went out there, they had the short skirt crop top combo, and I'm like, it's 38 degrees outside. Like, I don't care if you're moving. That's cold.
Mm-hmm.
That's tough.
I hadn't been to Otts in a while, so it was nice to just kind of get in there.
Oh, atmosphere is great, man.
It really was.
I
Place
was up
really
high.
loud.
How I would say, how loud was it for you?
The first third down in first quarter, so SC gets the ball
Yeah.
first. First third down was
Everybody stood up.
loud. I can hear it in my ears as somebody who listens to music too
Mm-hmm.
loud. Who's played a lot of like live music and stuff like that. Like you can hear how it resonates in your ear. The first third down was extremely loud. Also, when Malik Benson ran that punt back because
Yeah.
he ran it into my end zone and that place was going bonkers.
And it was 85 yards, so it had a nice long build to it.
Yeah, nice long build.
That was the backbreaker.
There's a lot of backbreakers.
Well, I mean, there's really, but we'll talk about it. There was a handful of plays that basically decided that game.
That and you were just not good enough.
Yeah. That's what I figured. And there's a reason why I picked Oregon to win.
I'm really glad I went to it too because I was really worried that I wasn't going to like catch a lot of good sporting events on Saturday.
Yeah.
And I was pleasantly surprised. There was one moment where my cell service was so bad, at the halftime of the James Madison Wazoo game, Brandon Sprague was texting me, and I texted him back. I was like, dude, my cell service is garbage.
Also,
did the Cougs
look,
score a touchdown?
I want to say this.
Help.
I'm going to give the Ducks all their credit and all their love. Thank you for bringing that up. Fix your freaking Wi-Fi, you trash stadium. Good God.
Well,
I sent a tweet after like the first quarter. It didn't post until I left the stadium. And I'm like, what the hell is going on here?
well, almost all stadiums I go to, whether it's cell service or internet, it's all bad.
Fix it. You can fix it. Spend the money.
I don't know if it's that easy.
It is. Spend the money. Spend the money. You can.
I love when I go to Timbers games because I may or may not be connected to the media Wi-Fi.
I was hoping mine connected, and it didn't. I tried searching for it. Like, I'm like, come on. It didn't connect. I was like, God dang it.
Do you have the password for it?
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Yeah, I do.
How do you have the password at Hodson?
Somebody gave it to me a couple years ago.
I think I might know who that somebody is. I think I might know.
But for whatever reason, it wasn't grabbing it. I was like, God dang it. So, yeah. So that's why I was being irritable and petty about it. I was like, fix it.
Oh,
I've had it before.
Oakley dokley. Well, we got a great show for you going on today. A lot of stuff to get to. We will spend our first hour here on this Ducks USC game and how that kind of happens, just the game itself, how USC kind of crumbled in the end, how the Ducks took advantage. There's a lot to get to. We'll circle back around that in the big nooner as the Ducks look ahead towards UW and the college football playoff. Chauncey Billups is in court today. We'll have a conversation about that. Our favorite quarterback on this show took a big hit, and it might say RIP to that. And we'll spend a little time in the association, too, as Blazers over the weekend. And don't come at my boy. You come at my boy, you're going to get hit. So a lot to get to. Thank you for joining us on this rivalry week. I'm just gonna say rivalry week all day.
It's tough.
Thanks for being with us. We'll start as the Oregon Ducks defeat USC 42-28. Overarching thoughts on the game. We'll do that first. 105.1 The Fan.
Network.
10:17 here, Portland Sports Leader. Don't you forget it, baby. We are live on this rivalry week here from the shadows of the historic Fremont Bridge. 503-864-6326. That's the fan text line. She'll let you interact with us throughout the entire day. Also, youtube.com/1051 The Fan. Come join. See the great green shirt Danny is wearing. I will give you a little bit of credit in that since the makeup's not here, you've decided to twofold.
Yeah.
That's a very new Danny Meringue thing to do.
No.
Old Danny Meringue, I feel like, would have been
No.
like, sorry, paint's not here, loser.
No, I refuse to welch on bets. I will never, ever be a bet welcher.
So kudos to you on that. You
Yeah.
can check that out and join us in the YouTube chat. We're always getting spicy in there. A lot to get to this hour. We will kind of compartmentalize and break down in different aspects. I'd love to spend some time on what went well for USC and what they struggled with, how the Ducks took advantage of that, what they kind of struggled with at times. But overarching kind of thoughts of this game, I sent you a quick meme that I made for funsies. Boy, if I hate talking about this stuff, and I know we'll get to, where people succeeded and struggled, but kind of a brutal aesthetic game. And I went back and rewatched the game from the television standpoint too, just to kind of see if my eyeballs weren't deceiving me. Boy, officiating across the board was just rough.
It was horrendous.
And there were plenty of times, and before you guys on the pass interference stuff, I went back and looked at them on TV. They some might be a little soft. They're all PIs on Oregon and on USC.
All of them were.
But just the constant, who was it? It was Hines had a celebration. Benson had a celebration that were very soft celebrations after getting big first downs that were both flagged for unsportsmanlike conduct.
To be honest, the only unsportsmanlike conduct that should have stood was Jacoby Lane. I don't know what the hell he was thinking.
Right, I agree with that. And there was a late hit. I can't remember the offensive lineman who dove in when the play was over. That wasn't deserved. But just a sloppy game overall. I think
it was chippy.
It was chippy, yeah.
Which I love to see that.
Everybody loves to see that, especially in a big state game. I think if you're Dan Lanning, you look at the score and you look at the performance and you probably feel really solid about how your team played. Mm-hmm. But we'll ask Tyson on Wednesday. I don't know if we have him. We'll have to double check on that. But we'll ask him on Wednesday if we have him.
I mean, you had 230 penalty yards between both teams.
That is brutal.
Both teams had 100 yards of penalties.
That is brutal, and it makes the aesthetic of the game pretty tough. The meme that I generated was the Scooby-Doo, the Big 12, Big 10 refs taking off. Let's see who you really are. It's Pac-12 refs.
It's Glasses ref. You're like, you!
I hate you!
It was you all along, Glasses ref.
So that was really tough. But one thing I'll say, the first quarter specifically, I was kind of sitting there to myself, ooh, buckle up.
Yes.
SC opened with a score, and Oregon goes down score. I'm like, okay, all right, here we go. I thought the pageantry, the aesthetic, the overall, like you said, the chippiness was a really fun aspect of this game out of the gate. Yeah.
Yeah, no, the atmosphere was great. Like you said, the first third down for USC, Oregon got loud as could be. It was funny, Tiff sitting there with me. She's like, "Do they stand up every third down?" I was like, "Yup." Prepare for this. It's like I told her ahead of the game, like, it's loud. Like this place gets loud.
And if you sit on a certain side, of the stadium, the other side is like perched up to like face down at you. That's brilliant design.
No, it is. That place gets loud. And that's where I was. I was right underneath the press box. And thankfully, it's not quite as loud up there. Obviously, the sound kind of travels down, but kind of overarching themes. Like, I think you got what you expected to get out of these teams. I think, Oregon ran the ball effectively. USC didn't. USC's inability to run the ball was the thing that I think probably hurt them the most. USC's passing attack is unbelievable.
Very good. Very good.
It's I don't think you can question whether or not those are the best wide receivers in the country as far as the top of the room, those top three guys. Big plays, big moments decided this game.
Big time, and on both sides, and that was fun. An overarching theme, I know we'll get to a little, because I have a lot to say about kind of Dante Moore and his performance. From an overarching Ducks standpoint, I was getting frustrated, and maybe this is why. Maybe seeing it in person changed it, or maybe as the year goes on changes it. I've been decently critical of Will Stein, just for not coming out of the gate and like really kind of pushing defenses off the bat of big games specifically. I think what I have taught myself when it comes to Oregon's offense and how they were able to kind of manage this game throughout was patience. And I'll tell you what, from both teams, I'm really sick of the 1 yard throw to the side and just an extension of the run game.
Yeah.
I hate those plays so much. And I think because I kept seeing on both sides of the on both offenses those big plays happening, that I was getting my juice up and was kind of like, I want more.
Yeah.
Like, why aren't we pushing the ball down the field more? And I thought in the first half, Maiyava did that more so than Dante, but Dante did it kind of in particular spots, and Maiyava to an extent too. I wished I could have seen more of those big plays.
Well, those big plays come out of those because you're throwing to the side,
I
you're getting
know.
sideline to sideline, you get that defense to suck up a little bit.
I know.
For
and
you- for me-
I was getting impatient.
Yeah,
I was
for-
like,
for
I
you-
want more.
For USC, their defensive depth was the thing that showed its ugly head. You know, guys dinged up, and what ended up happening is Oregon got into space. Sadiq was an absolute monster. He was an absolute monster. The two best players on the field this weekend were Makai Lemon and Kenyon Sadiq.
No doubt about it.
Like, those two guys are both day one. They are going to be the top players drafted at their positions. That's the number one wide receiver, and that's the number one tight end in the country. And they absolutely stunted.
And you saw them do different things too that were great. I mean, Makai throws a touchdown. That's rad.
That throw and that catch were just absolutely bonkers. The Duck fans around me, it went from a roar to deafening silence.
Yeah.
And I go, there's no way. And the Duck fan, I heard one guy right in front of me goes, I can't believe that just happened.
I am on the other side of the field, and I was like, I bet you he caught that ball.
It was just
The way it looked from 100+ yards away, I thought he caught the ball.
just unreal. Absolutely unreal.
Yeah, there's a lot of talent for sure. And on to Kenyon Sadiq, he had this block in the second quarter that he like was basically a pulling guard and hit the hole for Whittington to go through.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's the stuff you don't like. You don't see that live. Nobody
No.
sees that live. But watching it again from the TV standpoint, both of those guys did something that we didn't realize they had, but guys that we already said wow about
And then they had wow moments.
made you say even more wow. Talent, no discrepancy of talent. Overarching thoughts on coaching.
I thought both coaches acquitted themselves well. The only thing that kind of bothered me with Lincoln was the 2-point conversion. Like, why are you chasing that now?
Made no sense to me either.
I think the thought process was if you get a touchdown, then you take the lead and you maybe put a little pressure on them.
Mm-hmm.
And I think they probably got a little squirrely because they went for some fourth downs when they realized, like, we need to score.
Mm-hmm.
Like, we need to score. That's what has to happen here, especially after they didn't close out the second half of the score.
Some of the Lincoln plays that I really enjoyed, obviously the Makai Lemon to Hines throw, that was really cool. Kind of out of nowhere. I didn't expect any kind of trick plays.
That was the same play that they botched against Notre Dame where Makai Lemon fumbled, and it ended up being a back-breaking play for them.
Because correct me if I'm wrong on this, but Lincoln Riley strikes me as not a Ben Johnson type OC. Like, Ben Johnson will throw weird trick plays out there.
Absolute psychotic stuff.
To where Lincoln's got a little more chip in him in the sense of
Gadget plays.
Yep, we will just out personnel you.
Oregon with the fake stall with Dante looking to the sideline, motioning in. That was a great play to pick up that short yard. I was like, man, the Duck fans around me like, did they throw a flag there? Like, what was the call there? And it was like, no, they got really cheeky with it. And that was nice. And then obviously Betcher running
Betcher touchdown
on the goal line, like that was really cool for him too. And with it being senior day.
I know he had an up and down game too, so I'm glad he got that touchdown.
Yeah.
Another thing from Riley that I was really impressed by from a coaching standpoint was he had Maiyava run more than I've ever seen him run. And I know Maiyava's not like most graceful runner.
He's a two-way guy, and like, to be honest,
but there were design packages that I thought were like great timing.
I wanted him to have a few more keepers just to keep Oregon honest, because I mean they were crashing down on King Miller, and they did an incredible job on King.
But the biggest thing about this game, before we kind of break down individual teams and their performances, I wrote down the game broke when Benson had the punt return for a TD.
Yep,
that happened. The drive following, Jordan Maiyava throws a pick.
Yep,
and also later on, it's not the next drive. I don't think. Maybe it's the drive after. the leaping call.
Yep.
On the missed field goal.
You would have got a stop, no points, and then they would have gone down the field and had a chance there.
It's a free 7, it's a turnover.
Yep.
And it's a free 7.
Yep.
And that's
the difference in the game.
Final score is 14 points. That was the difference. Now, I thought Oregon controlled the game for the most part. I truly believe there was no part of me outside of kind of early first quarter. I thought Oregon controlled this game and did very well because of the run game.
Yeah.
Just controlled tempo, controlled pace, bend, don't break, a lot of stuff like that.
They didn't break the massive run, but they got a bunch of 8-yard carries.
Noah Whittington.
Kept the chains going.
RB1 is Noah Whittington.
Yeah, and then you had the USC not getting the touchdown going into the half.
Yep. I think, free 7, turnover, free 7.
Yep.
That's and basically in that, not fully in that middle 8, but
close,
the end 8.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely Oregon took advantage there, and they go on to win 42-27, excuse me. All right, when we come back, we'll stick with this. Where did this fall apart for USC? We might have just talked about it right there, but there were a lot of things they did well and things they couldn't do well, and then we'll flip it on its head. We'll have a conversation about Dante Moore and the offense for Oregon and their defense, how they prevented that as well. But we'll do that next. But first, we'll toss it over to old Casey Smith over there with sports.
This is a Rivalry Week edition of the Firm of Harrison Meringue, brought to you by Roto-Rooter. Now, from the George McCoy and Warren Allen Sports Desk, a Sports Center update on the Fan Sports Network, 105.1 FM and 1080 AM.
First on the Fan, Monday Night Football is tonight as the Panthers head to Santa Clara to take on Brock Purdy and the San Francisco 49ers. 49ers are still dealing with a handful of injuries on the defensive side of the ball, but they do come in as 7.5-point favorites. In more NFL news, the New York Giants have fired defensive coordinator Shane Bowen after blowing yet another double-digit lead. Adam Schefter reports that head coach Mike Kafka called it his decision. Your Portland Trail Blazers will take on the Bucks tonight at 5 p.m. in Milwaukee. Milwaukee coming in as slight betting favorites as the Blazers still nursing a handful of injuries at the guard position. And Ducks Hoops is in action tonight. They travel out to take on the number 22 ranked Auburn Tigers tonight at 5 p.m. Coverage for that game will pick up on 1080 only, so make sure to check it out over there. For more sports scores and stories in 30 minutes, I'm Casey Smith from the George McCoy at Warren Allen Sports Desk. Hurt and missing work? Insurance companies acting like jerks? Don't call your mom. Call George McCoy at warrenallen.com.
The Fan is live on YouTube and Twitch. And now, Fan Sports Network.
Chatting a little Oregon Ducks, USC Trojans. Ducks take down the Trojans 42-27, bump up to 5th in the AP poll. We'll see tomorrow if the College Football Playoff Committee agrees with that. 503-864-6326. I'm going to read some of your texts here because there's some funny stuff. If you don't want to sit down, stay home and watch it on TV. I love that. Danny Meringue being called a true professional for not making excuses. Look
don't.
at that.
Look, I have my fun, but I'll always call it like I see it.
And then this text, and we'll start kind of here. My biggest fear as an Oregon fan was that the secondary was going to get torched on long passing plays, and the D-line did a great job of getting pressure to force Maiava to get rid of the ball quickly. And we'll start there with USC. The things that were going well with them in the beginning were I thought Maiava was getting the ball out quickly, and I thought they were torching that secondary.
I have to say, I disagree with that sentiment. I don't think they got to Maiava once all game.
Well, there was really no quarterback. Well, there was quarterback pressure, but not really getting to him.
No.
Dante took a couple bumps.
Maiava had all day.
But Maiava was able to get it out quickly. And I'll tell you what, when you look at the receiving yards for USC in this game, Hines had 141, Jacoby Lane had 108, Makai Lemon had 34 yards, but boy, his impact on the game was a lot bigger than that. He took a ton of those side throws that I hate that are like running the football basically for like 2 yards.
Yeah. And Oregon did really well bottling that up, but also the 34 yards, there's probably 80 to 100 yards that are missing from pass interference calls.
Without a doubt. And I thought the SC offensive attack, especially in the passing game, was as advertised. Makai Lemon is the real deal.
Yep.
I was telling you before we started the show, I've been very fortunate to see a lot of great people come through the Pac-12 with my own eyeballs. Makai Lemon is like Andrew Luck territory of the amount of quality college player I saw that will advance in the next level.
Yeah.
Of just guys you look at and you're like, that is a guy.
Look, Jeremiah Smith profiles as a better prospect,
Mm-hmm.
but as a player right now, Makai Lemon is the best wide receiver in the country.
But I even thought Jacoby Lane and how do you say Tanuk?
Tanuk Hines.
Tanuk Hines.
They're really good.
I thought Hines and Lane had great games too, and I thought what's fascinating about it is if I tell you that Hines has 141 yards, a touchdown, Lane has 108 yards, Makai Lemon has 2 touchdowns and throws one, you assume USC's offense is torching. The problem was they couldn't do anything on the ground.
No.
They could not do anything on the ground. And I'll credit USC's offense. Look, I think they came into the game 8th ranked in the nation on third down conversions, and you saw that. I thought Maiava had some great plays, some explosive plays.
They kept the chains moving when they needed to, for the most part.
But it's like when they needed to grind it out, it just wasn't there.
It was just short.
And I think that's a big credit to, like, Bear Alexander was a monster.
Bear was a monster.
Bear was an absolute monster in that game. And I think, I don't know if they would ever admit this, but it feels to me a little like Oregon said, you know what? They're going to throw the ball. Let them. And I don't think they would do this, but those pass interference calls, some of them, like 15 yards in college is a lot better than a 35-yard gain.
Yes.
And I'm not saying they did that intentionally. I'm just calling it how it is. Like, you said it. Those numbers would be even bigger.
Oh, USC would have thrown for 450 yards.
Because Maiava finishes with 306. I can think of 2 30-yard catches that bumps him to over 350.
And then Lane had the one, too, that was like, what was that, 40 yards downfield? So you very easily could have seen a USC team throw for 450 yards.
And it felt like they just said, look, we know we're not going to beat them on this. You know,
they're that. Look, I know I sound like a homer. It's biased. They're that good. That wide receiver crew is that good. I saw a stat coming into the game. I believe they were number 1 in the nation in draw and pass interference calls because you just can't cover them. It's not just that they're like the most exceptional athletes you've ever seen. They route guys up. And Makai Lemon, he's such a good route runner. He's so good. Did you see how often he was in motion? Like every single play, they're just moving him side to side,
keeps
back
defense
and out.
really on their toes.
And you have to decide. And now all of a sudden you've got, Jacoby Lane isolated on a route. You've got Tanuk Hines isolated on a route because you have to pay Makai Lemon so much attention.
And then you start exposing freshmen. Like Finney Jr. did not have a great game. But he didn't. But that's the thing, though.
He did have one incredible break.
He really did, and that's the thing. It's like the secondary didn't have a great game because USC's offense was doing what it needed to do when it did. but it was kind of bend don't break mentality.
Yep.
And those pass interferences, again, I'm not going to say that they, draped intentionally because they knew they were going to get beat. But at the end of the day, those were huge plays that were disrupted, whether they were disrupted from good D or from now. I've said this for years off the air that the 15-yard pass interference in college has to go.
Spot foul.
It has to go because it's just too easy.
Yeah.
If you are,
do I give up the 40-yarder or the touchdown, or do I just take 15 yards and go?
Dude, if I'm UCLA against USC next week, anytime I'm one-on-one with Makai Lemon, I'm just holding him in the first 5 yards.
You're not letting him go.
That's a 5-yard penalty instead of some 35-yard pickup because I'm draped all over him. I thought Oregon's defense handled it really well, but boy, that offensive attack is nice and was as advertised.
The Kennedy interception was a great route.
Great play.
Jumping that route was great. Maava definitely should have tried to put that over the top and not gunned it, but Kennedy made a great play. And then the other pick that Maava threw, that's having confidence in your guy and trying to thread it between two guys, and he should not make that throw.
No.
He should not make that throw. That's 100%. He should not have made that throw. Kennedy, nice play, bad throw from Maava. But other than that, I thought Maava was really good. He had a couple that he just missed. Mm-hmm. It was like, what are you doing here? And then he almost had a near interception when he gunned one to Lake McCree that bounced up, and I went, oh! Other than that, those guys did what I expected them to do. They're that good. But the lack of the running game, the center going down, being dinged up again, and that was what I said coming into this game and into the season for USC. It's the depth.
Secondary was hurt too, and
secondary was dinged up, and Sadiq exploited the hell out of that. That was a great throw from Dante up the middle in between two guys for the touchdown.
Yeah, split those defenders. That was beautiful.
That was a beautiful throw, beautiful catch. Just synced that up beautifully. But in USC's inability to run the ball because they just couldn't get it done. I thought Oregon did an incredible job. I was talking to a few Ducks fans. I'm like, I'd really like to have Emmanuel Pregnon and Bear Alexander right now. I'd really like to have both of those guys.
It would be nice. It would be nice. And then this is the classic tale of really any team that gets behind. Once they were behind and it felt like anytime they came within a score, Oregon was going down the field and putting on another score, then you're putting the pressure on the quarterback.
Yep.
And very few guys, this isn't a shot at Maava. This is just a shot at the difference between elite and very good is you start pushing the ball in places you shouldn't.
Yep.
And because that's just because you got to find a way to catch up. You got to find a way to catch up, which is why I disagreed with you so heavily on the 2-point conversion try by USC. I don't know what you're thinking there.
No, I'm with you.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I'm with you. I do not know what Lincoln Riley is thinking there. There are so many more things on the table right now to worry about than going for 2.
Get the score if you need to go. If you're on the road and you score and you're down 1, go for it.
Mm-hmm.
Like in the fourth quarter, go for it, Lincoln. Go for it. I got no beef. I got no issue with that. Go for it. You don't play for the tie. You don't play for overtime on the road. You play for the win.
But to put a bow on it, yeah, I thought USC's receivers were great, and we've said this ad nauseum. I know Makai Lemon had 34 yards, but
he had 3 touchdowns.
He was so disruptive.
Yeah.
Like you were watching that guy so much that it opened it up for everybody else, and that's why you have. I thought the CBS broadcasters made a great point that it was like you guys had all these wide receivers at SC, and it's time to let some of these guys go because we're not getting our main guys the ball enough. And I think when you break it down to those 3, Lemon, Lane, and Hines, you make Lemon all over the place and make everyone have to worry about him. All of a sudden, those other guys open up. It's like a 3-headed monster.
Yep.
It's like if you put all your defense on Shea Gildress, like all of a sudden Jay Will or Chet or Caruso's open in the corner, and then that's how you win games. And I thought that was a fantastic performance from their wide receiver core. Just too many issues outside, like you said, no rushing. And
I love this on the YouTube. Lemon had 34 yards receiving. Yeah, keep believing that. Keep believing that. He absolutely fried you the entire day.
And free 7, turnover, free 7.
Yeah.
That's the game.
Yeah.
In the first half.
That and the USC not getting the touchdown going at half.
Yeah, I kind of almost expected that to at some point to hit SC. Just because I think they're a little lopsided in terms of offense and defense. One side's really good and the other side's kind of a struggle. I think that was a big play for Oregon for it to happen in the first half.
Yeah, it was. Because if USC gets that and it's 21-28, and yeah, Oregon starts with the ball, but now you're feeling the pressure because they're right there. You've had the punt return for the touchdown. You've had the interception. You've had the score. You got the flag on the field goal that turns into the touchdown. Like, you've had a lot of things go your way.
Halftime 28-21 is very different
it's
than
different.
28-14.
It's different.
Let's flip it on its head and let's go over to the Oregon Ducks and what succeeded for them. What kind of problems they gave USC. And you know what? It might start with number 5. I thought he had a great game. We'll go there next. 105.1 The Fan.
Easy ride.
What two guys doing one job? We got to do something about that.
All right, coming up in hour number deuce, we'll slide over to the association. We'll check in on the Blazers, how they did over the weekend. 1-1, baby. Cup action, though, man. Maybe every game should just be a cup game. So we get to that at 11 o'clock. Plus, you come running for my boy. I'm coming for you. And maybe the weirdest situation in the NFL we've seen in a long time when it comes to contracts. Plus web gems. So there's a lot to get to in hour number deuce. But we'll kind of put a little bow and we'll circle back in the big nooner about this Ducks USC game. But I want to slide over. We've spent enough good time talking about kind of SC and what they did well, but where they also struggled. But let's flip that on its head and slide over to the Oregon Ducks. And I want to start basically where I've been teasing all day. There is no deny that at this station, maybe in general, maybe even more so than Andy Dirt Johnson, maybe more so than the brand man Dusty Hera, I love me some Dante Moore.
Mm-hmm.
I love Dante Moore. I've been on the record saying I think he is fantastic. I thought this was another really, really great, solid game from Dante Moore. I thought the poise was there. He was in very much control, and he had 2 or 3 passes that just make you go, that I didn't see from the stands, that I had to go back and rewatch. And when I'm watching from TV, some passes that I looked at and said, wow, those are throws.
I thought USC probably gave Oregon too much cushion in the first half, let some of those 7-8 yarders that turned into like 12, 13 yarders go a little too much. But
I felt like they kind of game planned like, let Dante beat us.
I think they did too. In that regard, that's what I wanted them to do.
But you want them to do that, and I don't mean this because you're a jerk. You wanted them to do that because you aren't as high on Dante as I am.
It's not just that. Don't get me wrong. Oregon ran for 179 yards.
Yeah, that's the key to the game.
But it's on 41 carries.
It's a lot.
The longest run they had was 17 yards. They didn't break the back-breaking 40, 50-yarder. They gang tackled really well. The problem was they got through the line of scrimmage too far. They got too many 5, 6, 7-yard carries. Yep. That's the issue. That's where Oregon, the lack of depth. Desmond Stevens had 17 tackles.
That's a lot.
17 tackles. He was everywhere for them. He was great. But Oregon, they weren't getting the explosives there. They were getting the explosives or bigger plays out of those mid routes from Sadiq, from McClellan, Jamari Johnson. I mean, Malik Benson. Like those were Dante wasn't throwing the ball. Like it wasn't like deep air yard throws. They were the 8 to 12 yarders, and it turned into 18 or 20. The longest play they had was the Malik Benson 30-yarder.
And Dante made Jeremiah McClellan look like DeCorian Moore.
I mean, he had a great throw. I mean, for me, the throw of the game was to Sadiq.
Without a doubt. Cut that safety held back and didn't quite follow it, and then those 2 DBs were kind of crossing.
Yep.
And it was a larger window than it wasn't like thread needle.
It wasn't
per se.
the Iowa throw, but it was a great throw when he needed it the most.
But it was fantastic. I thought his poise as well was really great. And you know another thing, outside of maybe there was a play in the first quarter, a throw to Noah Whittington kind of out in the flats. That was kind of a bad throw.
Yeah.
There weren't a lot of those bad throws we've seen from Dante.
The bad throw was the pick where he clearly got crossed up.
Without a doubt. But those throws that are like kind of underthrown, that a receiver makes a play or Kenyon slows down to get it.
A guy comes back and makes a great catch.
Right. I didn't see a lot of those.
No. Sadiq had one, and then was it McClellan that had one? I think there was only 2 in the game where I was like, ooh, that was a hell of a catch.
There's a couple decent times where wide receivers were dropping balls and kind of timing plays, like really quick slants to throw to the outside. That's just young kids trying to learn how to play. And Dante, it's hard to get on the same page that quickly on those timing throws when you got guys hurt all the time.
And Dante wasn't game managing. He made throws when he needed to make throws, and that's been my criticism of him, is that in those moments he has kind of underthrown some of those against lesser opponents. And against USC, he didn't do that.
There's also been some chatter that Dante doesn't like to get hit, and I don't know any quarterback that really likes to get hit.
There's a couple psychos out there that don't care.
I've seen Peyton Manning and Eli Manning for a living go down.
Yeah.
Phillip Rivers as well go down. Like, I am not getting hit here. So I don't hold him that. But I think the moral of that story is, like, he doesn't like to be pressured.
Yeah.
And there was a lot of times, credit to USC's defense, and they said it on the broadcast as well, and I thought USC could have done more of that, would let go of the ball and then get a nice little boom. Nice little boom. And sometimes it'd knock him down to the ground. And I thought that was a great game plan. Not playing dirty, but a great game plan.
Let him feel you.
Rattle him up, like, get him, and it just didn't.
Yeah.
It just didn't. And he calmed down and was cool and collected. And he looked like the Dante as advertised. And I think, yes, the run game, yes, Will Stein in the run game was absolutely the reason why USC lost this game, why Oregon won this game.
Because they kept the chains moving, they kept the clock going, and they limited some of the possession time for USC, and they couldn't be as explosive in those. And Oregon, both in quick strike and having some longer drives, they did the thing where they weren't getting the 40, 50 yarders, but again, they were getting the 8 to 12 yarders pretty regularly. And that's where it was one of those things for USC. I'm like, safety being out. It's like, all right, yeah, I know the depth isn't there. The front seven, like, they were effective, but they don't have the depth to turn guys out and keep that pressure up. And like we said, we talked about it off air. 73 throws between both quarterbacks, 1 sack. Maiava was clean pretty much the entire game until late in the game, and he had all day to throw.
And most of Dante's pressures were in the first half.
Yep. Both lines did really well in the passing game.
Yeah, for all the praise we gave Jordan Maiava for making big throws when he needed to on third down and such, Dante was there. They just weren't as big, and there weren't the big PI calls as well. Boy, if you flip this on its head,
Maiava's numbers end up looking a lot crazier if the PIs are catches.
Oh, without a doubt.
Or if they're, the yardage is a spot foul.
If flip this on its head for funsies, if Maiava has Oregon's run game, I mean, that team competes for a national championship.
It's over.
And Oregon was able to have that dominating run game. And look, and I know we've kind of glossed over it, and maybe it deserves a little bit more talking about, but it was so dominant and so aggressive that it's almost an afterthought. And at this point in the season, we know that's what Oregon does.
That's what they're
Noah
built on.
Whittington is RB1.
Yep.
Davison is the touchdown goblin. And Dier Hill can get you some flash plays when they don't expect Dier Hill to do things.
Dusty and I were talking on Friday before I left after the show about the game, and he's like, watch for Dier Hill. And he did have a little sprinkling of like, boop, and just, picking up again, like 7 yarders, 8 yarders. He had 4 carries for 28 yards. He averaged 7 yards a carry. That's the difference in this game. Not him, but like USC was not able to get negative plays. Oregon wasn't either. And again, like if I have any like, still don't like that for Oregon. It was the lack of disruptives. Again, only 1 sack. Would they finish with five TFLs? 6, my bad. Where they made up for it though? They broke up 5 passes and they got 2 picks. That's where they made up for it. They forced the turnovers. And that was what for me, the biggest changes in this game were the Maiava pick where he threw into double coverage. It was just like, what are you doing? It was the penalty on the missed field goal.
The leaping.
The punt return for a touchdown. And USC not scoring at the half. And not even just a field goal. They should have gotten a touchdown there.
3 special teams blunders. Benson runs a kickback, the leaping penalty, and a doink.
Yep.
That's so many points left on the field.
Those 3 plays get flipped. Different game.
Yep. And
I'm not saying USC wins off those 3 games.
No.
Those were the momentum to kind of deciding plays that swung how you played the game.
Because it forced USC to be desperate.
Yep.
And Oregon never had to play desperate. And as much as, again, as I'll circle back on it, as I've been critical of Will Stein and his play calling, I've realized I've been wrong about what Will Stein wants to do. And it's be patient.
And with Oregon,
it's be patient and let his guys show up. And they did.
USC elected to receive, which I was like, oh, they want to go for this. Don't know if I necessarily like that, but I get where they're coming from. They go down and score. And Autzen got quiet.
It got real quiet because that third down was the loudest it was, and it was pin drop after that first touchdown.
And it was like, and then what does Oregon do? They come out and they respond immediately.
Boom.
That was, and what has Oregon not done this year? they have not been quick starters.
No, they have not.
And that was a major difference for me. And I remember
28 on the board in the first half.
I looked over at the Duck fans around me after Oregon scored, and I go, well, gonna be a game.
Yeah. And then it wasn't.
It went about as I expected it.
Yeah, I guess so. I think so, too. And there's some nice comments from Dan Lanning about how we'll play however you want to play. We'll get to some of that stuff tomorrow. Chat a little Dan Lanning and throwing shade at the SEC. God, I love Dan Lanning.
Yeah, there's another clip of Lanning at Georgia doing the exact opposite.
Chattanooga State.
It's weird. It's weird how that what's good for the goose is not good for the gander sometimes.
We'll get to Dan Lanning tomorrow on that. We'll circle back on this in the Big Nooner and kind of look at Oregon going forward and kind of say, what this win does for them as they look ahead to the Huskies. And boy, if I'm the Huskies, Noah Whittington scares the ever-loving Jeebus out of me. So we'll get to a lot of that, circle back around in the Big Noon. When we come back, Blazers 1-1 over the weekend, cup action, and then just a woof. What do we make of that? We'll get to that next. Hour number deuce, 105.1 The Fan.
Do you owe $10,000?
AFM HD1, Malala, and Odyssey Sports Station. Now, from the George McCoy and Warren Allen Sports Desk, a Sports Center update on the Fan Sports Network, 105.1 FM and 1080 AM.
This sports update is brought to you by Reynolds Defense Firm. If you've been arrested for a DUI, you need a team of attorneys that you can put your trust into. Call Reynolds Defense Firm today, online at reynoldsdefensefirm.com. First on the Fan, Monday Night Football is tonight as the Panthers are headed to Santa Clara to take on Brock Purdy and the San Francisco 49ers. 49ers still dealing with a handful of injuries on the defensive side of the ball, but they will come in as 7.5-point favorites. In more NFL news, the New York Giants have fired their defensive coordinator, Shane Bowen, after blowing yet another double-digit lead. Adam Schefter reports that interim head coach Mike Kafka called it his decision. Over to the association, as your Portland Trailblazers will take on the Milwaukee Bucks tonight at 5 p.m. inside the Pfizer Forum. Milwaukee coming in as a slight betting favorite, as the Blazers still nursing a handful of injuries at the guard position. And Ducks Hoops is in action tonight. They will travel out to take on the number 22 ranked Auburn Tigers tonight at 5 p.m. Coverage for that game will pick up on 1080 only, so make sure to check us out there. For more sports scores and stories in 30 minutes, I'm Casey Smith from the George McCoy at Warren Allen Sports Desk. Hurt and missing work, insurance companies acting like jerks? Don't call your mom, call George McCoy at warrenallen.com.
The home of Dirt and Sprague. Weekday morning.
All right, hour number deuce. If you missed it in the first hour, you can check that out on the Fan Podcast, 1051thefan.com, the Odyssey app, wherever you get your podcasts. It's also over on the YouTubes, youtube.com/1051thefan. Join the chat. If you missed any of Josh Pate this morning on Dirt and Sprague, you can go back, rewind, fast forward, except for into the future, because that would be impossible. We're here on a rivalry week. I'm just leaning into it. It is a rivalry week.
Rivalry week. Wascally Rabbits.
Everything starts with a W now. It is a rivalry week as the Ducks look ahead to take on Washington.
It's a rivalry week at Washington.
my Cougs are also hosting a rivalry week against a rivalry that's not really a rivalry. Look, guys, Oregon State's not my rival. I love those dudes.
Yeah.
I got a lot of good friends down there.
It's a little Stockholm syndrome.
Yeah, a lot of friends that went to Oregon State. They've never been nothing but nice to me.
Yeah, man, we love you too.
Yeah, how am I supposed to just be like, F those guys?
I mean, you can.
I can, but it'd be so disingenuous.
It's like hide the money. There's poor people around, but
Yeah.
you're like, but we're poor too.
Yeah, Jake, our digital marketing dude, or whatever. I don't remember what he does, but Jake, I love Jake. He's great.
Social media and digital.
Social media and digital. He was like, yeah, Oregon doesn't even play for a trophy. They need to they need a trophy with UW. And I was like the Apple Cup? We already have one of those. Oh, right. To quote the great Chris Fetters on this show, who cares about that rivalry? It's only in geograph only. I was like, dude, I love you being on this show, but I will kill you.
There you go. It's the simple things in life.
Jake looking at me like, I will kill you through the glass.
It's like, how dare you not know my job?
How dare you not know? Dude, I barely know my job.
That's fair.
All right, let's get to this hour. We'll talk about some weird contract situations in the NFL for Brandon Ayuk and the 49ers plus Web Gems. But we'll play a little basketball here for some fun. Blazers 1-1 over the weekend. Get a big cup win on Friday night, right? That was Friday night?
Yeah, against the Warriors.
Against the Warriors. Big cup win.
You had massive nights across the board for the Blazers. And they needed every last bit of it.
And unfortunately, due to injuries and stuff like that, that's what it's going to take, because you flip that on its head to Sunday, and it's, ugh.
Caleb Love goes off. C.D. Sissoko goes off. Donovan Clingan goes off.
Clingan had a great game. Denny's passes were so dope on Friday night.
They took one of his assists away, so we went from 14 to 13. But
I seen it with my eyeballs.
Yeah,
Good.
he had first time in his career, he had back-to-back games with 10-plus assists. I thought they played incredibly that game. I hopped on with the Warriors guys, the Light Years show, Sam Esfandiari and those guys, and it was fun. They were like, what did you see from this Warriors team? I go, well, don't go zone with Steph Curry and Brandon Pajimski up top and Denny Avdia getting downhill.
Yeah.
You don't have the bodies for that. Like,
well,
that's what it comes down to.
And that's the biggest problem of this current Warriors situation.
They don't have size.
No, they don't. They don't have size, and they don't have defense either. Like, you can be a little small but still play scrappy defense. It's Draymond, and like that's it.
Draymond, Jimmy, and if they're healthy,
oh yeah, a little bit of Jimmy.
And if they're healthy with Kuminga, they can have a little bit, and then Horford, but Horford's long in the tooth. But that's the thing is, everybody talks about those Warriors teams and like how skilled they were. It's like, you all remember the death lineup? It was Steph, Clay, who was a great defender,
First ballot Hall of Famer.
Harrison Barnes or Kevin Durant, Andre Iguodala,
Iggy off the bench. Yeah,
Draymond Green, and
then some big dude that would just stand in
for
the
one
paint.
point in time, it was Bogut.
Yeah, yeah.
Like they
That's right. It was and Bogut made a career of just standing there.
being vertical.
You
Bogut
shall
and David Lee.
not
Yeah.
pass.
Look, man, outside of Steph, they were big as hell.
Yeah.
They could
and
switch.
and defensive.
Yes, they could switch everything. They were big-bodied. They were long. They were disruptive. I mean, think about that. They could throw a lineup out there: Steph, Clay, Iggy, Dre, and KD.
I know.
like-
But those days are gone.
Yeah, but that's the difference in this team. Pods is a smaller guy. Steph is a average size point guard. Moses Moody isn't that big. Like, you just kind of look at that team. It's just not. It's not a big. Buddy Hield is not like he's decent size, but there's not this consistency of defense that also comes with size. It's kind of reminiscent of the Dame CJ teams.
And I kind of wonder if you're a Warriors fan and you look at this game, you're kind of going, how do we lose to this crappy team? What I will tell you is, yes, a lot of things were firing on all cylinders for the Blazers that night, but I think the Blazers showed the league how to beat that team. Move the ball around, drive,
Be physical.
be physical. I think the Blazers, now they can't play that way night in, night out. They just don't have the bodies for it.
Yeah, especially right now.
Yeah, they just don't have the bodies for it.
As you saw against the Thunder.
Yeah, but they just let the rest of the league know how to beat the Warriors. Now, I don't think any of us are sitting here saying that the Warriors are about to go on a run. I'm not ready to close the door on them, but the door is definitely closing on this.
And the Warriors guys were like, they're wasting the final years of Steph Curry. And I just told them, guys, you got 4 titles.
yeah,
like,
chill out.
Chill a little bit. They're like, don't patronize us. Don't tell us to enjoy that. I'm like, but you should.
But don't be shocked if this is a game that people start looking at around the league as a way to beat the Warriors, and also as a this is how the Blazers can win games. And even if everybody comes back, even if Sharp gets back and Drew gets back, they can still play this way with those guys back and become
It's how they should play.
even more dangerous, because then they have a little bit of depth. Now, again, I'm not saying this takes you to the Western Conference Finals. I don't even know if it takes them to the playoffs. But if that is the identity of the team, the defense, the pace, the coming at you, being physical, passing the ball around, Denny not just being a driver but a distributor, Donovan Clingan having nights like that, you're only going to pray that Caleb Love shoots as well as he does on that night.
It's feast or famine with Caleb.
That is a very inspiring look. You just have to be okay with the fact that 2 days later, that might be what you get as well.
And here's the thing. This is not a, well, the Blazers are, they're cute, plucky. You should really enjoy it. Like, no, they are drastically shorthanded. They are drastically shorthanded.
And I don't want to just gloss over the Oklahoma City game, but that's kind of part of it.
Yeah.
And if you play at that type of energy and movement on a Friday night, I don't care that you got a day off. It's still a travel day. It's going to be tough to do it again.
They're playing every other day like crazy. And if you want to look at a glass half full in a sense, they do get the win against the Warriors in the Cup, and now they control the group of death Cup standings.
That's amazing.
They are the ones that are there.
How cool would it be if the Blazers won the NBA Cup?
Look, it was the Pacers. That's how they kind of took off, and I think there's something there. And for me, looking at what this Blazers team is right now, after the loss to Oklahoma City Thunder, they're 7-10. But here's the thing: at 7-10. If you look at the West, OKC's 17-1. After that, the Lakers and Nuggets are both 12-4. The Rockets are 10-4. The Spurs are 11-5. The Suns somehow are 11-6. I still don't get that. Timberwolves are 10-6. The Warriors are 9-9. Then it's the Blazers at 7-10, and then the Grizzlies at 6-11. And then it's like ugh. And like we'll talk about Ja here in a little bit. Like the dysfunction. Like the Blazers' problems right now are, one, they can't shoot even when they're healthy. But two, they're not healthy.
Right.
So they can't play the style that they want to play. And when you have Denny Avdia, who has been phenomenal, he finally had a bad game against the Thunder. And that game was over in the first quarter. Denny just could not, number one, he could not draw a foul that was somehow not continuation getting the line. It was nuts. But he also just couldn't shoot. And I'm not going to be mad at him. He has had one bad game in 17. The other 16, he has been phenomenal. He has been absolutely phenomenal. And what you've gotten out of him, if they can go out there, if they can beat Milwaukee tonight, which is a big ask, but no Giannis.
No Giannis.
Against the Spurs, there's not going to be any Wemby. There's not going to be any Castle. There's not going to be Dylan Harper. So you, even with as shorthanded as you are, that's a game that you might be able to win. You're probably not going to be favored just because you are so shorthanded.
Hey,
but,
to cross-reference this to, like, say, an NFL team, dude, the Bears don't have any sexy wins and they're 8-3.
No.
Dude, wins are wins, dude. Just win the game. Who cares?
Right now, just hold serve.
Yeah.
Hold serve until you can get healthy, because the teams that are behind you, the Grizzlies, Jazz, Clippers, Mavs, Kings, and Pelicans, they're bad.
Yeah. I hear that a lot of this station, this program, other programs on the station, that it's like the one built-in thing the Blazers have going for them is what's behind them.
They're
is
bad.
so far behind them, because the Blazers, look, you can look as bad as you did against OKC. You are not the Pelicans. You're
No.
not. Even if you lose to the Pelicans on a night, like, you're still not as bad as them. You're not as bad as the Kings. You're not as bad as the Jazz.
If you're healthy, you can win any game.
Uh-huh.
Where those other teams, the Kings, no. The Mavs, no. The Pelicans, no. Like, just no.
Spurs tomorrow?
No.
Or sorry, Bucks tomorrow?
Bucks today.
My days are getting
back
to
to
back.
back.
Okay. My days are getting all
Wednesday Cup action.
the NBA drives me nuts. It's like the day off, but then back to backs, and I can never predict it.
Road back to back. Fun time.
I need to be able to predict it better.
OKC to Milwaukee back to back. Super fun.
Is that a far flight?
I mean, it's not short.
Yeah. I mean, anytime you're getting on a plane and getting off a plane, even if I got to fly from here to Seattle, still
not fun.
Still not fun. All right, we come back. We'll stick in the association. You come at my boy, you're going to get hit. The saga of Ja Morant continues. We'll stay in the NBA. 105.1 The Fan.
The Trail
All right, coming up in a moment, we'll slide over to the NFL. Weird contract stuff going on. According to Kyle Shanahan, the weirdest thing he's seen in 20 years in San Francisco going on right now. So we'll slide in on that, plus web gems. But we'll stick in the association a little bit as, we're getting to a point where it's borderline time to just go away, And boy, I've talked about this on this show very many times when we bring up this player. There were very few, if in fact, there was probably only one player in the league that I enjoyed watching more than this guy. He was what I always said, you're my favorite. I always try to find my favorite player in the NBA not named Klay Thompson. That's my bias showing. That's my rooting interest. Because, we got a lot on the line for legacy with that future first ballot Hall of Famer. And that guy was Ja Morant for a long time. My favorite player to watch in the NBA was Ja Morant.
For a lot of people.
For a lot of people, myself included. And now I just want you to go away, and then you double down on it, and you come after my boy.
Yeah, you made it worse. You
Can't come after my boy.
You went after the one guy, the St. Clay.
And so to back this up, Mavericks are in Memphis.
Yeah, yes.
They're in Memphis. And some stuff's going down on the court, just some classic basketball stuff. Look, Memphis is a bad team. They're dysfunctional. It's not like Dallas is great, and Clay's been really bad. Like, this might be his last year in the league, and he'll retire in the sunset, and we'll wait in 5 years for him to go to the Hall of Fame.
Clay had a decent game. It was at 22 points, 6 of 12 from 3, and he missed what would have been or an opportunity for a game-winning shot.
But Ja Morant gets in his face.
And he was chirping him from the bench.
And he's in street clothes.
Again.
I don't understand this. Like, you can't get on the court because your attitude sucks. So why are you going to get on the court when you're not even playing and prove that your attitude sucks?
Look, Ja's just... I don't want it to get personal, but, the dude's broken.
Something's wrong.
He is doing everything wrong. He can't get out of his own way.
And he had the quote that he's like, this isn't Warriors Klay Thompson. That guy's dead, or something like that.
You haven't approached a Warriors Klay Thompson level. And I saw some Grizzlies fans like, look at what Ja did in this. I'm like, oh, you mean got packed up by the Warriors? That team? Is that what we're talking about? Look, Ja can be great.
He's one of the most gifted athletes I've ever seen play in the NBA. From just the like we talk about Shaden all the time, how he can jump out of a gym. Ja can do that 4 inches shorter than him.
Yeah.
He's like a Westbrook athletic ability.
In Ja's career, he's averaging 22, 7, and 5. That's pretty damn good.
Yeah.
But here's the issue.
With highlights.
Yeah, I mean...
That's all Adam Silver tells me to watch is highlights, and Ja is that.
Okay, but this is what he has done. So 67 games his rookie year, wins Rookie of the Year. 63 games his second year.
Playoffs.
Yep. Third year, he makes his All-Star game, 57
Playoffs.
Games. Wins Most Improved Player, averages 27, 7, and 6. Just a great season, shooting 49% from the field, not being a three-point shooter. Next year, 61 games, All-Star. Finishes with, 26, 8, and 6. That's incredible.
Mm-hmm.
The last 3 years, 9 games, 50 games, 12 games.
And he's a healthy scratch right now. He's not hurt.
Well, he's got the calf.
Okay. Does he have the calf?
We'll see.
Okay. Shaden Sharp has a calf.
Yeah.
Drew Holiday has a calf. Does Ja Morant have a calf?
But also, Ja's shooting 36% from the field and 17% from 3.
This is Klay Thompson calling out Ja after their game against the Grizzlies. This is Mavs postgame.
And then with Ja, he's a funny guy. He has a lot to say all the time, especially for a guy who rarely takes accountability. But you know what? That's for another day.
What did Ja have to say on this occasion?
Nothing of intelligent depth. It was really just his just running his mouth, and he's been running his mouth for a long time. And it's funny to run your mouth when you're on the bench. It's kind of the story of his career so far, just leaving us wanting more. We all want to see him out there and do his best, but he's just been letting a lot of other stuff get in the way of that. And we need that in the NBA. We need our best players to be out there, and when you're a star, it comes with a great responsibility, and I hate to see that go to waste.
For a guy like Klay Thompson who doesn't say a whole lot, he's spot on, and he's like sticking up for him too. He's like, dude, you're a star of the league. We need you to be great.
I'm not mad. I'm disappointed. He big broed him. And I guarantee you that felt like a knife to Jaw.
Or Jaw handles it the way Jaw's been handling stuff and says, what do you know, punk? You don't know me. I'm from the streets.
Yeah.
Jaw doesn't care.
The streets of upper middle class.
Clay was nice there.
Clay was nice. Clay was nice. He could have buried him.
Look, man.
And he just told the truth.
I've talked to a lot of players about guys like Jaw. There are other players that are on that list that are supremely talented that guys in the league just don't have any respect for because they're throwing it away. Either they're doing dumb stuff off the floor, they're doing dumb stuff on the floor, or they're just god-awful dudes. Like, there are stars in this league, quote-unquote stars in this league, that fans just love and players are just done with. They're just done with them.
Yeah, why do you think we don't give guys that are quote unquote good guys better flowers? Like, boy, Jason Tatum sure takes a lot of flack, but I don't hear anything negative about that guy, and we just take it for granted, it feels like, in sports.
No,
and it takes somebody like Clay this way, like calling you out for your bullshit.
And didn't do it in a harsh manner.
No, but also
he was
praising you.
He was precise with his words.
Just smart kid.
Like, you could tell he wanted to be like, you know, if you got Clay off camera and away from a microphone and got him to be 100% clear, he would probably go in pretty hard.
Roast him. But to Clay's point.
But not in a point of like
not like throwing expletives and low insults.
No, it was.
But he could have roasted him.
Yeah. And it was like that's a first ballot Hall of Famer.
To Clay's point, though, he is saying, you know, when he first calls...
It's not that he sucks.
No, when he first calls him out, he's like, you can't act like that. He's been like that his whole career. Then he kind of like shifts into, let me teach you how to be a superstar. And it's not just the words I'm saying, it's everything I've said here.
And how I said it.
And the unfortunate part is I think Jaw needs people to say this.
He has the complete wrong people around him.
And I don't think, to your point, he should look at it like dad's disappointed or big brother's disappointed. And he's not going to look at it that way. He's going to look at it like, oh, yeah? Oh,
You're
yeah,
washed.
What? You're washed. Would you ride coattails on Steph Curry? Cool. If I had a top 10 greatest player of all time, I'd win rings too. And it's like, dude, that guy's one of the best two-way guards in the league history. I almost dropped an F-bomb right there.
But
I'm trying to hold back my bias towards my boy here.
But it's like, Jaw, you don't understand it. Even if you did play alongside Clay or Steph, you're not mature enough to handle that. Because you can't stay on the floor.
No, and thanks for putting the guns away, but you're just finding some other way to tarnish what you got going.
It's always something.
It's always something.
And that's like, look, in that draft, I had Jaw over Zion.
I would have too. I thought Zion was too fat, and I was worried he was going to get hurt all the time.
But Zion also, you knew like there was some other stuff around him, and with Ja,
well, Zion just had the ceiling of nobody we'd seen in a long time.
I mean, outside of Giannis and Shaq, and now Wemby, he's one of the most singular destructive forces physically in the history of the league. He's Charles Barkley on steroids.
Kind of is, yeah.
Like a guy who's 6'5", 6'6", but that doesn't matter. It just doesn't matter. And yet with Ja Morant is in the pantheon with Russell Westbrook and Derrick Rose as the most explosive guards to ever play the game. And because of his stupidity, his ineptitude, his lack of maturity, he can't stay on the floor.
Derrick Rose is an MVP, and injuries really bit him.
Yep.
And Russell Westbrook is a Hall of Famer.
And MVP.
And averaged a triple-double.
Yeah.
Him and Oscar Robertson. That's it.
I mean, like...
That guy's going to the Hall of Fame.
And you can talk about the shortcomings in Russ's and Rose's games and shooters and all those kind of things and maybe some of the head case stuff. Look, Russ is a head case, and he's not a guy that I've ever wanted to have in Portland. But you can't question him as far as how hard he plays, how much he cares, doing the right thing.
He's got that Kyrie in him. Like, you're a weirdo, dude. But man, when you're on the court, you're good.
But not only that, off the court,
and you make people better.
Those same guys that talk about other guys that just don't have it together. I've talked to guys that have gone head to head with Russ and do not like him on the floor, and they will give him nothing but respect.
Well, Westbrook and Kyrie, to that point, they might be weirdos and say weird stuff and be guys that are very unlikable.
Their peers respect him.
I don't see Kyrie at a strip club with a gun. I don't see Russell Westbrook
popping up in the tabloids,
demoralizing another player. No. Like, he might be like, we were at it tonight, and I hate that guy, but he's never going to be like, you're washed, you suck, why are you in my face?
I mean, the Jeff Teague quote, from Diggs podcast is, little background. He's talking about like he actually had Dame on that podcast, and he said something. They were going back and forth about the playoff series. He's like, Russ cooked me so hard once, and we were going back and forth, and he said something to me, and I said, I don't care, and Russ said, that's your problem. You don't care,
Boom.
and he was like, damn. But that's almost the same thing Clay said. That's your problem.
That's your problem.
You don't care.
I'm not mad. I'm just disappointed.
It's tough.
Boy, that's tough. All right, let's slide over to the NFL and talk about a weird contract situation. Just another problem in San Francisco. But first, there's Casey with sports.
This is a rivalry week edition of the Firm of Harrison Meringue, brought to you by Roto-Rooter. Now, from the George McCoy and Warren Allen Sports Desk, a Sports Center update on the Fan Sports Network, 105.1 FM and 1080 AM.
First on the Fan, Monday Night Football is tonight as the Carolina Panthers head to Santa Clara to take on Brock Purdy and the San Francisco 49ers. 49ers are still dealing with a handful of injuries on the defensive side of the ball, but they come in as 7.5-point favorites. In more NFL news, the New York Giants have fired their defensive coordinator, Shane Bowen, after blowing yet another double-digit lead. Adam Schefter reports that interim head coach Mike Kafka called it his decision. Over to the association as your Portland Trailblazers will take on the Bucks tonight at 5 p.m. in Milwaukee. No Giannis tonight, but Milwaukee still coming in as slight betting favorites. And Ducks Hoops is in action tonight. They travel out to take on the number 22 ranked Auburn Tigers tonight at 5 p.m. Coverage for that game will pick up on 1080 only, so make sure to check us out there. For more sports scores and stories in 30 minutes, I'm Casey Smith from the George McCoy at Warren Allen Sports Desk. Hurt and missing work? Insurance companies acting like jerks? Don't call your mom. Call George McCoy at warrenallen.com.
The home of Ducks Game Day, before and after every Ducks football
can go here.
Hey, Peter, man. Check out Channel 9. He's a biracial angel.
Well, you can't count on much like Ja Morant, but you can always count on Sundays with the NFL on CBS and Paramount Plus. Stream your local NFL game live every Sunday, all season long, starting at just $30 for your first year. That's like $250 a month. Visit ParamountPlus.com/NFL to get started today. Web Gems coming up next. We got a bowl update for you. We are big fans of bowls on this show. The kind you play in football and the kind you load at the end of your fine evening.
Some of us not.
Some of us not, but some of us do. I'll bet you that guy does.
Just peeks around the corner.
Just peeks around. He's like, you talking about me?
You talking about me?
You talking about me? You talking about me? You talking about my mom?
It happens.
We'll get to Web Gems next. Everybody's favorites, so stick around for that. But a weird situation going on in the NFL, and this Brandon Ayuk situation, for those of you that are not aware, the San Francisco 49ers have voided a bunch of Ayuk's guarantees in his 2026 season because he's, quote, not living up to the terms of his contract, participation in required rehab, team activities, et cetera, et cetera. Does it feel like, of course, this is the 49ers? Are they kind of teetering on that? Because the Eagles have been a lot that this year,
Yeah.
but it's mostly just been A.J. Brown as far as like distraction and noise.
Yeah, but there's also, remember, Ayuk wanted out.
And then they paid him.
But he wanted out bad.
And we couldn't tell, I feel like we couldn't tell at the time if he wanted out bad or if he just wanted to get paid.
Both?
Both? And now that he got paid, he doesn't want to play. Dude, I saw a video of him at a jewelry store the day his contract was voided. Just like getting ice, like
was he
serious ice. No. He was looking at these big like custom bees with like a football in the center. Dude, like Justin Jefferson ice.
Again, do what you want with your money, but it's like, again, this isn't Ja Morant, but it's like, what are you doing, dude?
On Saturday afternoon, Niners head coach Kyle Shanahan confirmed that the team had voided about $27 million in guarantees. He talked for almost 12 minutes. Shanahan, quote, "I've been coaching for over 20 years, and I've never been in a situation where a contract's been voided. It's extremely unusual to me. It takes a lot of things to get a contract voided. I've never dealt with that in my career, and I've been building that's had that. It was unusual, but that's stuff that I can't get into right now. I'm not getting much dialogue just personally between him and I, and I've been told that it's week to week, so each week I wait to see if he's ready to come back for practice, and I haven't gotten that answer yet." Could we be in a situation that his whole contract gets voided? Like, if you're the NFLPA...
They've already said that he's not going to contest it because he wants out.
Oh, okay.
Do you think
so
you're making
gonna,
that money back on the other end?
So you're going to get your whole contract voided, become a free agent, you think someone's going to give you that contract again? What is this, Jaw? Are we on back-to-back Jaw segments?
Yeah, but here's the thing. It only takes one team, and I'm sure his agent has scoured the market
Sure.
and been like, hey, do you want Ayuk kind of a deal? Like, there was a time when the Raiders were looking at him. Do I want to deal with that? Not really.
I think you need a very stable head coach,
Mm-hmm.
which the Raiders have in
And Pete,
Pete,
yeah.
although he's taking a lot of flack right now. But you need a solid quarterback right now.
Mm-hmm.
Now, Gino might be a great guy behind the scenes and a veteran and leadership and all that stuff. And I think for the most part, people have said that.
He's
But
also getting murdered.
But
behind
he's
that
not
line.
playing well on the field. So you got to find a stable coach in like a Carroll, a Stefanski maybe,
Mm-hmm.
a Sirianni. But you also need a stable quarterback that's going to wrangle that in. And you need a culture already created in a situation to
That he
help
can't
embrace
poison
that.
it.
And dude, I don't know where that is.
Welcome to Pittsburgh.
I was just going to say, I was like,
welcome to Pittsburgh.
you do love
That is
wide
fair
receivers
enough.
that are just complete head cases.
To be fair, though, a lot of those wide receivers become head cases after, which is why they are jettisoned.
George Pickens and Mike Wallace are the only two receivers in post-Steelers that have having positive seasons or having better seasons than when they were Steelers.
Boy, side note on Pickens, I know you're not a CeeDee Lamb guy.
Mm-hmm.
Pickens looks pretty good for Dallas.
Look, if I
He
had
looks
to
pretty
pick
good.
one, I would take Pickens.
I heard they might franchise tag him. He looks pretty good in Dallas.
No, I mean it's not. He's not a good wide receiver. It's just again my penchant for bat-ass crazy wide receivers is very low unless you were Randy Moss.
And his wasn't even that crazy, honestly, when you look at all this stuff. I feel like Randy got a really bad rap. I think there was a lot of judgment and stereotypes put on Randy that maybe weren't deserved. Chris Carter comes out all the time and talks about how Randy's great.
Yeah.
But yeah, if I'm a team that needs a wide receiver, even if I'm Tomlin, even with Rodgers who don't take that S, I just
Give me
let's ask this question. How good is Brandon Ayuk?
Well, that's the thing.
Very.
Is he, or is that a Shanahan thing? Because how good is Mac Jones? Because he looks like a starter in the NFL with Kyle Shanahan. Because he doesn't look like a starter with anybody else.
I think it's a situation
And
where...
you guys know where I sit with Shanahan. He's a great coach.
He is. I think my Ayuk's talented. For me, just using the Raiders as an example, I don't want that.
I don't want it on my team.
He's not good enough to justify the crazy.
I wonder if he's any good, period.
He's good. He's very good. But he's not good enough for me in how I look at it. Like, I would much rather have the Mike Evanses of the world, very, very, very good Hall of Fame wide receiver, who I just don't have to deal with stuff.
Yeah.
I'd rather have that.
Without a doubt. I mean, it's easy to say. Mike Evans is a Hall of Famer.
Twice a year up until, obviously Marshawn Lattimore goes to the Commanders. Twice a year you have to worry about him getting suspended for a third game.
Yeah. But even then, like, it's one guy. It's kind of like with old chain snatcher Aqib Talib. That matchup happened over and over again. It was
I love Aqib Talib.
But the crazy comes out with him. And who was it that got into it with the Tennessee DB deboed him? Was it
Cortland
Andre
Finnegan?
Johnson?
Yeah, Andre.
Cortland Finnegan.
Cortland Finnegan.
Andre Johnson, Hall of Fame wide receiver, stable as could be. Cortland Finnegan,
Punch you in the face.
That man saw red every single time. But again, give me the Andre Johnsons, give me the Mike Evans, give me
He swung at Andre Johnson with a helmet on.
Yeah.
What are you doing?
But give me
It's like sliding into first base. Stop.
Give me the guy that sure there's one guy in the league that gets under his skin. That's fine. That's a level of crazy I can deal with. I can handle.
Sure,
But
could go back to like college, could go back to combine.
Whatever it is, like there's like legitimate beef between the two guys. They hate each other. But you don't have to deal with the crazy outside of that. Like wide receivers are nuts. There's only, a handful of guys, the Jerry Rices and the Larry Fitzgeralds of the world, where you're just like, you don't have to worry about them at all.
I mean, we'll talk about Eagles tomorrow, but like AJ Brown is getting that close. Like, bro, you ain't a Hall of Fame receiver.
Yeah, you're crazy.
And you're crazy. And like the leash is getting a little thin on that. I mean, it's getting a little tiring.
To take it down a level, and they're USC guys. Give me the Michael Pittmans and Drake Londons of the world.
Give me the JSNs of the world.
Yeah, give me those.
Go take the Seahawks again, for example. Go back to their heyday. Their receivers weren't phenomenal receivers in Doug Baldwin and Tyler Lockett, but they were good.
Yeah.
And they never were an issue.
No.
And they had Russ, who everybody hates.
Yes.
But to your guys' point, you guys are all talking about teams that already have a number one wide receiver.
Yeah.
Are you considering Brandon Ayuk a number one wide receiver?
I think
doubt it.
San
I think he's
Francisco-
a true number two.
He thinks he is.
And I think San Francisco
think
was
so.
willing to trade Debo because they thought he might be.
Yeah.
But there you go. There's another head case wide receiver that I'm not interested.
Again.
And San Francisco said adios. And it's probably a good thing that he's hurt for the rest of the year so that Jaden doesn't have to deal with him. Right? Is Debo out for the year? I think he might just be out
No, he's just dinged up always.
monetarily.
Yeah. So, but yeah, that's my holistic view of wide receiver in the NFL.
He's just dinged up. He has a heel, and he has a heel injury that he's just kind of nursing.
Yeah.
You guys are losers. Not you two, but like these wide receivers, guys. Just catch the ball.
Instead of shut up and dribble, shut up and catch the ball.
I mean, I'm not a shut up and dribble or, I'm not that kind of guy.
Yeah.
But like sometimes as a
wide receivers
receiver,
where it is the biggest
Man,
diva position in sports.
it's tiring.
It's even more than the number 10 in soccer.
Without
it's
a doubt.
It's just something about that position because the way that they're treated and glorified, like brought up, they are taught to be crazy.
Go be a Devonta Smith. Go be Larry Fitzgerald. Go be JSN. Just like catch the ball and be awesome.
Yeah.
And live it. Talk your ass in the end zone.
Yeah. Cash your checks and catch the ball.
Goodness gracious. All right. We'll get into Web Gems next. The story out of college football. We're updating you on bowl games, and this is a good one. This is a good one. 105.1 The Fan. All right, everybody's favorite here, Web Gems. Do it every single day at 11:45. A little late on this one, but that's all right. That's all right. Coming up in the Big Nooner, we'll circle back around to the Ducks as they defeated USC. Jeez, what is wrong with me? 42-27. We'll kind of take a peek at the Ducks looking forward because there ain't a lot of time to talk about this game because they're on a turn and burn. Everybody's on a turn and burn this week.
We got 3 days.
Yeah, we're a short week. Just for programming note for y'all out there, we will not be here on Thursday or Friday. I'm sure there'll be some good football here you can hear on the fan. I'm sure Swag and the Brand Man are putting together some good programming for you guys to check out. But we are all off on Thursday and Friday. However, on Saturday, we'll rinse and repeat as the Ducks will take on the Huskies live in Seattle right here on the fan. Kick at 12:30, which means Joe and Rashad at 6. Andy Dirt Johnson, Anthony Newman from Grand Central Bowl with Dusty Hara. Casey Smith will be out there as well at Grand Central Bowl from 8 to 10:30. Turn it over to Jerry and Jorgie. And then kick at 12:30. If you can't be near a radio, well, then you don't get to watch or listen or whatever. A lot to get to in the Big Nooner. That Chauncey Billups, he has his day in court today. Our favorite quarterback on this show, might be time to RIP him and his team. Closing arguments as well to send you on your way. But today's Web Gems comes to you by way of, well, bowl season because we are just so excited. Hey, it's only one more week of college football, and then we'll have conference championship games.
It's crazy. It's over.
Which is always great. And then it's bowl season. Sprinkling a little Army-Navy in there. I wonder why we care about that. Hey, sprinkle a little Army-Navy in there, and then I'm sure we'll get a weekend of Bowling Green playing somebody because that's usually how this goes down, and then it's bowl season. Then it's bowl season. Then my weekends are free for EPL.
Nasty.
I got it on right now.
Basketball, baby.
I'm going to watch United.
Basketball.
United and your squad, Everton, about to kick here.
Yeah, I know. Trust me, I'm not excited for that.
But today's Web Gems comes to you by way of the Boca Raton Bowl. They tweeted this out about a week ago, I think. I've been saving this little ditty. A new Boca Raton era begins, and it's delicious. We're thrilled to welcome Bush Beans, the new title sponsor of the Boca Raton Bowl. Our game will now be known as the Bush's Boca Raton Bowl of Beans. Join us at FAU's Flagler Credit Union Stadium on December 23rd, 2025 at 2 p.m. Eastern. That's 11 a.m. for our time. And live on ESPN. Teams announce tickets on sale December 7th. Here we go. Duke's Mayo, Pop-Tart Bowl, and now we've got the Boca Raton Bowl of Beans.
I'm just going to say this. Have you ever had baked beans on the plate and been disappointed?
You know, I don't even like beans, and I think my answer is no.
Not one time.
No.
I don't think so.
Beans are a banger. Now, look, what they can do
If
to
you
you.
undercook beans, then you got a problem.
But, I mean, what they can do to you later, that can be problematic. But I don't know why. I was at the grocery store a 6 weeks ago, and they had a deal on, like, the Bush's baked beans, and like they had, like, the different ones. There was, like, a hot honey. There was, like, I
was about to say Chipotle honey.
Yeah, there was a hot honey. There was a like a steak in like a ones you put with a steak kind of a deal. Had some like green peppers in it, and then there was like some other like honey roasted something or other, something along those lines. And I was like, you know what? It was like 3 for $3. I'm like, I'm gonna grab these. And then I proceeded to eat all 3 cans of the span of like the next week. And I was every single time I ate them, I was like, that was a good call.
Do you know how to avoid the unfortunate situation from beans?
No, how do you?
You got to rinse them. Now, baked beans, you're kind of hosed because the sauce is kind of the whole point.
Yes.
But when you're opening up like a can of black beans, a can of pinto, Great Northern white beans,
sure,
whatever you might do, you got to throw them in a colander and rinse them off. It's the preservatives that makes you toot.
Oh, is that what it is?
Did
not know that.
It's that like juice that it's in. Now again, the baked beans,
the juice is purposeful.
The juice is purposeful. You're kind of in it for the long haul.
Yeah,
the long haul.
It's the flavor.
But when I make chili and stuff, last night my wife and I made this really cool caramelized onion bean sausage cheese thing, and you rinse it off and you're good to go.
I would say we had that they call it the big nacho at Autzen.
Which I think the YouTube chat told me that it's a banger.
So we were looking around for food. Because we were like, do we want to like try to grab some food beforehand?
I just powered a hot dog.
See, so we went to the first stand and they had the traditional fare, you know, the dogs and the pretzels and all those kind of things. And
I love powering a hot dog.
Thank you. Get that one clear. Look, I do it when I golf at Chehalem.
Yeah.
I have a routine. When I hit the turn, that is like, I don't eat hot dogs normally, but my go-to grab and go is I grab the dog at the turn. I will house that thing before I tee off at the 10th because you got to drive across the road and down the ways a little bit.
You need a 9-year-old, man. We eat hot dogs all the time. Hot dogs, corn dogs,
Hot
Costco. My wife looks at me when we go to Costco. She's like, I swear to God, if you do that, I will murder you.
Well, number one,
I'm like, babe, it's $1.50 and a
the
soda.
the
and they
Polish
got
dog.
Mountain Dew.
The Polish dog's a banger, but number two, have you noticed how the Costco menu has expanded? They've like chicken bakes and all kinds of
They've
stuff
had
now.
chicken bake for a while.
I know, but I don't normally like peruse.
Well, they don't do the Polish anymore.
Yeah,
It's just the hot dog.
which is sad. But
My father is rolling in his grave.
the much like the baked bean, have you ever had a hot dog in your plate and been like, I don't want this?
No, I mean, the cheapest hot dog on the cheapest bun with the cheapest mustard, fat and happy.
Yeah. I mean, look, I preferred mine grilled, but if you pull it out of the steamer, I'm not mad at you.
That's why I'm willing to do the 9 for 9 for 9 challenge,
Mm.
because I will take a small crappy hot dog and a small crappy beer, and
Mm-hmm.
I'm ready to get down on it.
Just house it down.
Without a doubt.
No worries.
I didn't want to walk back and then eat the hot dog because it was cold out. So I just stood there right next to the concession stand and just dump,
wolfed it down.
dump.
So
dump.
the
you
nacho,
go.
the big nacho, it was chicken, queso, black beans.
Like grilled chicken?
Yeah. Chili. It was meat and beans. I'm forgetting something else. A little bit of pico and sour cream. It was like $25, but it was massive. I mean, it was like basically the full size of my bro dug and then some. Like so it was for the
Great
both.
sharing, yeah.
It was great for the two of us. You know, it gets a little messy with the queso, so it turned into a fork affair, but quite good. Quite good.
Well, there you go. The Boca Raton Bowl of Beans. I hope my Cougs are in that game. To do that, they have to win this weekend.
How are you feeling about that?
I feel great, but we
Okay.
have a Beaver problem. It's like if Georgia played Alabama in the SEC title game. I think Georgia's like, yeah, we got this, except for we lose to Bama a lot.
It's tough.
Does that mean I have a Sam Houston and an Appalachian State problem?
Yes,
you got a lot.
You have an
got a
everyone
lot.
else
Yeah.
problem.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, when we come back, the Big Nooner. We'll get back into Oregon's defeat of USC 42-27. What the road looks like ahead for them, plus some Chauncey Billups news and a little bit of NFL, and then we'll send you on your way. One more hour. Stick with us. 105.1 The Fan.
I'm Michael
Sports Network, brought to you by Roto-Rooter, KRSK Portland, KRSK FM HD1, Malala, and Odyssey Sports Station. Now, from the George McCoy and Warren Allen Sports Desk, a Sports Center update on the Fan Sports Network, 105.1 FM and 1080 AM.
First on the Fan, Monday Night Football is tonight as the Carolina Panthers head to Santa Clara to take on Brock Purdy and the San Francisco 49ers. 49ers are still dealing with a handful of injuries on the defensive side of the ball, but they come in as 7.5-point favorites. In more NFL news, Vikings quarterback J.J. McCarthy is in concussion protocol. Vikings head coach Kevin O'Connell stated that McCarthy reported some symptoms on the trip home and was evaluated further, making his availability for Week 13 up in the air. Over to the association as your Portland Trailblazers will take on the Milwaukee Bucks tonight at 5 p.m. No Giannis tonight, but Milwaukee still coming in as slight betting favorites. And Ducks Hoops is in action tonight. They travel out to take on the number 22 ranked Auburn Tigers tonight at 5 p.m. Coverage for that game will pick up on 1080 only. Make sure to check us out there. For more sports scores and stories in 30 minutes, I'm Casey Smith from the George McCoy at Warren Allen Sports Desk. Hurt and missing work, insurance companies acting like jerks. Don't call your mom. Call George McCoy at warrenallen.com.
The home of the Fan Happy Hour with Luke Anderson.
All right, 2 down, 1 to go here. The big nooner on the firm of Harris and Meringue. That's Danny Meringue. I'm Patrick Harris.
Oh, hi.
Happy to have you here today with us on a rivalry week.
Rivalry week.
I almost said it correctly. Because that's how I would go. After us, you'll get Ducks Insider from 1 to 2. Probably recapping some of the game that we've been talking about all day. Should be a good one to check out, I'm sure. We'll get some Lanning post-game press conference audio. Also, I think he'll coach. Oh, they don't do coach's show this week. They're done with that. We will talk a little Dan Lanning tomorrow on the show in his post-game conferences. Chattanooga State, Paige and you.
Both coaches had a fun press conference.
Yes, they did. We'll talk about Lincoln's tomorrow as well. So you'll get Ducks Insider from 1 to 2, and then the Fan Happy Hour with Dusty Hara from 2 to 3 today, and then baby, it's
he can't
prime
scratch
time.
that itch.
He can't quit it. And then prime time, 3 to 7. Isaac and Suk take you all the way home, finishing up 13 hours of live, continuous, local, regional sports talk radio. We're a short week this week. Just today, tomorrow, and Wednesday, and we all have Thursday, Friday off, and I hope everybody's got a great turkey weekend plan. Mostly just football is going to be so great. Right? This is basically why we have Thanksgiving now.
For football?
We all hate our families. We just want to watch football, right?
I mean,
it's kind of what we do now.
Well, I mean, a lot of the games year to year, it's been like, Thanksgiving games usually aren't great. They're usually blowouts.
Yeah, the Friday college slate I was looking at is not super dope, although there's Georgia Tech.
Yeah, I'm in for that.
And then I think Texas plays somebody. A&M. That's the Friday. But we get NFL all Thursday, and I believe the NFL games are sexy. If my memory serves me correct.
NFL games
I think it's
week?
Chiefs Cowboys.
Nah.
I think it's Packers Lions. Yes. And then Ravens Bengals. Are the Ravens new or indoctrined Thursday team?
They're
You got
going
him,
to win
Casey?
the division. I don't. I'm so done with the Ravens. You have no idea.
Yeah, I mean, how many people out there just look over at a team and are like, dude, I am so over you. Would you just go away?
It's funny. I'm looking at the Bengals Ravens on ESPN, and my brain kind of restarted because they have the
Cincinnati Baltimore. Dude, Baltimore's our new Thanksgiving team.
But also like the little like game preview, they have the highest passer, highest wide receiver, highest running back as far as yardage totals. And I see Flacco, and I instantly I get associated him with the Ravens, and I was like, wait, Flacco's Bengals.
That'll be good TV. Looks like Joe is back. Friday is the Bears at Philly.
That could be fun.
That's a little spicy game.
It could be fun. The rest
And
of the
then-
slates, the Sunday slate, Texans Colts, I'm in for.
Saturday, we got the big game, Ohio State, Michigan.
Vikings Seahawks, I might be in for, but JJ McCarthy's not good. So,
Oregon, UW.
how you feeling about Bill's Stillers? Their old case.
Not great.
What Steelers team shows up?
Yeah.
Ooh, 7:30 on Saturday. Notre Dame at Stanford. How about my Stanford Cardinal, huh?
I mean,
Putting a whooping on Cal.
I mean,
On my Cal Bears.
that Stanford game is not going to go well.
Oh, no.
That's going to be tough.
Let's dive back into this Oregon USC game for a little bit. Oregon looking ahead as they defeat USC 42-27. Pretty balanced performance from Oregon for the most part. Dante looked pretty clean despite a pick. Looking efficient as always. Hey, SC's got wide receivers. There ain't no doubt about it. They got a quarterback that can play really well. But looking at Oregon going forward, you got the Huskies this weekend, and then you're looking ahead to a college football playoff game. And I don't think there's any reason to take the Huskies lightly, and I don't mean this as a preview kind of situation, as we'll do that in the next coming days. But I think if you're Oregon, you got to feel pretty good about this. Think about all the big games you've been in this year. And I know some of them don't look like big games anymore because they aren't ranked anymore, and Lanning had some great comments on that we'll get to tomorrow. But Penn State, Iowa, Indiana, USC, these are all games that Oregon sometimes had to play very differently, and they showed that they can kind of play whichever way you want. Danny, do you think it's that Oregon is willing to play whatever style you want, or do you think they're just adapting as they go on the fly?
I think Oregon is playing their style. They dabble. They dabble in being amorphous, so to speak. Wisconsin, they couldn't because of the weather. Iowa, they couldn't because of how Iowa plays. USC, they did to an extent. They weren't as dominant on the ground. Yes, they rushed for 180 yards, but they also did it on 40 carries.
Yeah, there's not those big plays you were talking about, like a Noah Whittington 40 yards to the house.
They did the longest run they had was 17 yards, but what they did do is they didn't take the negative plays. Like as much as I was kind of not looking sideways at Oregon for not generating as much of the disruptive plays, USC could not do it. And so Oregon, I think to your point, the patience from Will Stein, they just got 7 yards at a time. They just kept doing that. And I think if you're talking about like how they're developing or changing, Dante had a good game, a very good game, but their running game was what they just leaned on, and their defense of bend, don't break, and then forcing the turnovers. That was huge for them because they haven't been a team that's that dynamic defensively as far as the disruption, but they forced the turnovers, which was massive for them.
It was a very patient approach, and I'm curious
on both sides of the ball.
On both sides of the ball, and I'm curious, as we touched on the first hour, the biggest game changer is Malik Benson runs back a punt for a touchdown. Mayava throws a pick. The leaping call on a field goal turns into a touchdown. So there's your swing right there.
Yep.
There's a turnover, which is a stop, and then 2 touchdowns, and that's why it's 28-14 and a half. I'm curious what Oregon looks like in that game if that doesn't happen.
Yeah.
Like say
credit to them for making the plays,
Yeah.
but like that's what you ask when I've seen some Duck fans like, oh, they wiped Oregon. I'm like, no, the guys they didn't. And shout out to Oregon fans who I was sitting with who were like, this is a dicey game. Like,
well, because I think that two touchdown buffer they had going into halftime
could have been won.
Could have been won. And like we said, I think that game is very different, 28-21. And I almost kind of wish if I were a Duck fan and as a casual Duck observer who does this,
you wish it was 28-21.
I do. I wish it was 35-28 going into the fourth quarter. I would have liked to see that on both sides.
Yes.
See how USC handles that, because I thought USC played a little tight in the end, a little
They did.
desperate.
They did.
And that kind of that leads to mistakes, that leads to defenses making stops and guys not being able to do because you're kind of forcing the issue. I wish I could have seen that a little close, because Oregon was able to, once they got that 2 touchdown lead, dude, and then it was just like, hold the line.
Yep.
It
Don't make the mistake.
Hold the door. Like that's how it was. And credit to Tosh Lapoy, that defense was able to just sit back and say, bend, don't break.
Which is what they've done all season, maybe better than anybody in the country.
And Will Stein said, turn around and hand that ball off, baby. Run the ball.
Yep.
USC, do you want to know who they are projected to play in a bowl game?
Who you got for me?
This is sexy. The bowl game itself might not sound sexy. It'd be in San Antonio, 9 p.m. Eastern.
It's Alamo Bowl.
The Alamo Bowl.
Okay.
SC and BYU.
Good color matchup.
Oh, great color matchup.
The strong
Cardinal
red, strong
and
blue.
gold. They're like a blue.
Yeah.
Those are like eyes are blue.
Yeah, that'd be one of those games that I'd almost want to see like a color rush.
Ooh, blue on red.
Blue on red. Yeah.
Yeah, I think they're just assuming BYU won't beat Texas Tech in the ACC title game again.
Big 12.
Or Big 12, sorry.
Yeah.
And then that means Big 12's only getting one according to these projections.
Yeah, I'm really interested to see how things shake out tomorrow. Like where teams fall.
And that's kind of my question with Oregon. Like, and I kind of asked you this in the break too, and you were kind of had really no comment, which is, side note, a wild thing that I asked you a question and you had nothing to say.
Wasn't sure.
Tomorrow when the college football playoff comes out, maybe we'll touch on this tomorrow, maybe not, but like Oregon bumps up to number 5 in the AP poll, and we've seen a little bit of correction from the college football playoff committee in trying to be online with the AP. But we've also kind of seen, to be honest, the college football playoff committee is not really impressed with Oregon.
No.
They haven't really been, and I don't
know. Well, they give them the love because in the AP, they've got Oregon above Ole Miss and Texas Tech now.
Mm-hmm. And will they do that in the college football playoff? I don't know. And Oregon's a weird case, and I think it's really easy to claim that the college football playoff committee isn't watching West Coast football, and that could be it because this is a true West Coast game. We've seen the college football playoff committee did not give a lot of love to USC either.
No.
Remember, we thought they'd be like one of the first teams out, 13, something like that, on the cusp to kind of like cover their ass to make sure that if SC beats Oregon, that they can say, well, hey, we thought USC was a good team, and that's why we propped them up. And they haven't really done that, but they also haven't given a lot of love to the Ducks. Look, I think that 5 slot is really where you want to be in the college football playoff. If you can, because you're playing the G5 team, which in theory, if you're Oregon, you say, okay, do we take on Tulane, North Texas, South Florida, Memphis, or like whoever it is, and then can we smoke them and sit our guys for a half and take a bye? But don't look now. There's a very good chance that 4 seed is Georgia, and that's who you're playing next. And would you rather play Indiana, Ohio State, Texas A&M, or Georgia, assuming all things go chalk? I don't think anybody wants to play Indiana. Ohio State is a giant mystery, but I think due to history and stuff, Oregon fans might be okay taking a shot at Ohio State. Georgia scares the ever-living jeebs out of me.
Mm-hmm.
Because guess what, dude? If it's 35-28 going into the fourth quarter and Ducks are ahead, Kirby Smart has how many times this year walked in the fourth quarter and smoked you?
Mm-hmm.
Go ask Lane Kiffin. Go ask Steve Sarkisian. Funny enough that they're both USC guys. But go ask both those guys what fourth quarter looked like against Georgia.
It's hard out here.
So you might love winning a playoff game against a G5 team, but be careful what you wish for. I might rather take another shot at Indiana because at least I know that opponent. At least I've seen what they can do. Do I think Indiana beats them again? Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
But at least you know who that team is. I don't know if Georgia's a spot. But that led me to this question. I know we're long, Casey. I'm sorry, but we're going to fly. That led me to this question. If you're the college football playoff committee, there's a game on Friday the 19th, and then 3 all day on the 20th. Who do you put in the Friday slot? 5 o'clock kick? Do you want that to be the standalone? Do you
make it the big game or do you make it the taster?
Yeah, if Notre Dame is hosting, or if Ole Miss is hosting Notre Dame, you're like, oh God, like, I want that.
Especially if the lane stuff is still
right,
resolved or unresolved.
Or are you trying to pack in Saturday and you want to put whoever is playing the G5 team? And what if that's Oregon hosting the G5?
Mm-hmm.
I personally, for my own family plans that day, I need that game to be on Friday. But I'm curious how they would do that. What do you want on that Friday? Do you want to marquee something or do you want to throw away something?
That's the question. I think I kind of want the standalone. I want it to be the banger.
The banger?
I think I want it to be a banger.
If it's Texas Tech hosting Alabama.
Yeah.
And not Oregon, North Texas.
Yeah, the Group of 5 game.
You put Oregon, North Texas in the middle window on Saturday, and then the SEC game, the SEC. Whoever's in the SEC is going to be 4:30 on Saturday. They'll be the evening. Okay, so you eliminate that. Big 12. I mean, Pac-12 after dark would be dope on Friday.
You could definitely get weird. You could throw the Big 12 team or the Group of 5 game on Friday. I could see that happening.
Oregon hosts Ole Miss. Put that on Friday.
I don't think they would end up in the same bracket there.
Just a weird thought.
Yep. Be fun though.
Ducks take on the Huskies this weekend. You can catch all that action right here on the Fan Sports Network like we always do. Joe and Rashad will have you from 6 to 8 Andy Dirt Johnson, Anthony Newman, Dusty Harrell take you from 8 to 10:30. Jerry and Jorgie, the boys, will take you 10:30 up to kick at 12:30 right here on The Fan. When we come back, we're circling back here, huh? Chauncey Billups, day in court today. We'll cover that next. 105.1 The Fan.
That offensive line, we're going to recruit here. We're going to get people come Court Balance, open Cajun restaurant, go Beavers.
Coming up here shortly, we'll slide over back into the NFL. Our guy might be cooked. Might be time to hang it up. Call it a day. In such a sad, sad fashion. You know, the NFL, boy, when the NFL's done with you sometimes, and I don't mean like career-wise, I mean like when they call it for you on a season, boy, they call it.
They pivot.
Yep. They get real hard on that.
All right, on to the next.
Yep. And they'll chew you up and spit you out. We'll get to that in about 15 minutes. But it's Chauncey Billups' day in court today. Was not wearing a Clutch Sportswear sweatshirt, probably much to the excitement of Clutch Sportswear. I imagine they don't love that. But he pleaded not guilty in federal court on charges in New York City of money laundering, conspiracy, and wire fraud. Both carry a maximum punishment of 20 years in prison. His co-defendants also charged with running an illegal gambling business and engaging in extortion conspiracy. Chauncey Billups was released on a $5 million bond. He put up his house in Colorado as collateral. And his daughter, who works for the Timberwolves, she co-signed his bonds. He didn't say much, answered yes or no questions to the judge, did not speak afterwards.
Mm-hmm. Where you're looking at this from the Blazers side of things and the progression of this. The judge in the case did not set a trial, but the hope is September of 2026.
Whoa.
This is a federal case. These don't move quick. He's due back in court, was it March 4th for a status update on the case. And if you're wondering what the case kind of looks like because the evidence isn't presented now, the prosecution, the federal side of this claims they have over a terabyte of evidence.
That's not good because a terabyte of evidence, while it could be some video, are probably a lot of documents of small size. Does hearing that a terabyte of evidence gotta scare you a lot more if you're a Billups fan?
It's intended to do that.
Yeah.
So in any indictment, they're not going to tell you everything because they're not going to give the legal team the preparation to say this is everything. It's just here, there. Eventually, they will get access to those things as they head into court, if they do head to court. But these cases, these federal cases, they have an 89% conviction rate.
And that's down over the last few years because before that, they were a higher conviction rate.
But they don't bring these to court without having the goods.
It's like one of the few times they don't waste our tax dollars.
Yep. Because, well, I mean, you're spending so much time on it that
right.
Either the payoff has to be there or you have to cut bait.
Yeah, and especially when it's not about the high-profile NBA players. It's about the mafia situation. Like that, these NBA guys, I mean, I'm sure the federales are, not stoked, but they're probably like, ooh, a little cherry on top that there's, high-profile celebrities from a sporting league.
Well, it gives them the paparazzi,
exactly,
and the eyeballs on it.
But the reality is, it's trying to control the black market, and that starts with the mafia. So it's like if they're going to bring the mafia into the spotlight to try to take down, they're going to make sure they've crossed all their T's and dotted all their I's. And maybe in this situation they have. Dude, that's got to be such an absolute awful situation to be in. I'm not going back to court till March.
And you're not going to start.
It's not even Thanksgiving.
A year out.
So I'm a year into this before anything goes down? Because when did Chauncey get arrested? Early October?
Yeah. It's after the morning after the first game.
Dude, that's a rough.
So October, 23rd, 24th?
So he's just going to go back to Colorado and just sit in his house for a year?
Just chilling for basically a year, yeah.
Dude.
With the court appearance in March.
I'm not going to lie. I've got a giant list in my bathroom of non-extradition countries.
October 23rd.
23rd, yeah.
I'm not going to lie. Emmanuel Clase came back to New York, and I was like, what is wrong with you, dude? You were out of the country.
You didn't want to get tagged and bagged out of the country.
Yeah,
I'm sure
I
they don't
guess
treat you well.
Boy, I feel for the guy.
So this whole idea of like, if you're the Blazers, you're a Blazers fan, you want resolution to this, it's not coming.
No, it's not coming.
The only way that happens if there's some sort of plea deal.
Yeah, and the reality is
or Chauncey can prove his innocence. Those are your two paths.
Yeah.
Otherwise, this goes to trial.
Yeah, and as this texter points out, if you're guilty, you don't care how long it takes. The longer it takes, the less time you're in prison. But pay it now and pay it later. Like, that's your choice. I personally would rather have a prison start today. If I'm 5 years in prison, I'd rather be, I mean, it's maximum 20. He won't get 20, but if it's 5 years in federal penitentiary, dude, start me tomorrow.
Well, I mean, it's easy to say that, but you get into that. You know.
I guess you'd have a year to like say goodbye and wrap up some things and
Mhm.
tell your wife you love her.
It's tough, man.
Boy. Yeah, the interesting thing will be when the Blazers can like pull the trigger and fire him,
The league's going to decide that, I think.
Yeah.
Because there's just too many variables.
And you don't have to worry about money because he's not getting any of that money until his stuff figures out. Or if
He's
he
not
is
getting paid at all. It's not getting put in escrow. He's
Yeah,
not getting paid.
Yeah, yeah. And even if he were to get paid, you'd get it back anyway.
We'll say, though, there was a mild change at Moda. Tiago Splitter has moved into that office where the door was closed with Chauncey. I walked into the locker room the other day, and then Tiago was in the office. So they're at least trying to have some sort of normalcy.
I mean, that's what I would do. I mean, if I'm the Blazers, I'm trying to move on ASAP.
The thing is, you can't, though.
Well, I know, but I would like to.
But you try to do things that, where there's not the reminder of the closed door every day.
Exactly. Well, it might be time to move on in the NFL for this team as Sunday Night Football was not good to you. And we as a show are very, very sad about that. It hurts us because we were big, big fans. And, well, she gone. NFL next. But first, there's Casey with sports.
This is a rivalry week edition of the Firm of Harrison Meringue, brought to you by Roto-Rooter. Now, from the George McCoy at Warren Allen Sports Desk, a Sports Center update on the Fan Sports Network, 105.1 FM and 1080 AM.
First on the Fan, Monday Night Football is tonight as the Carolina Panthers head down to Santa Clara to take down Brock Purdy and the San Francisco 49ers. 49ers still dealing with a handful of injuries on the defensive side of the ball, but they come in as 7.5-point favorites. Some more NFL news for you as Vikings quarterback J.J. McCarthy is in concussion protocol. Vikings head coach Kevin O'Connell stated that McCarthy reported some symptoms on the trip home and was evaluated further, making his availability for Week 13 up in the air. Over to the association as your Portland Trailblazers will take on the Milwaukee Bucks at 5 p.m. No Giannis tonight, but Milwaukee still coming in as slight betting favorites. And Ducks Hoops is in action tonight as they travel down to take on the number 22 ranked Auburn Tigers tonight at 5 p.m. Coverage for that game will pick up on 1080 only, so make sure to check us out there. For more sports scores and stories in 30 minutes, I'm Casey Smith from the George McCoy at Warren Allen Sports Desk. Hurt and missing work? Insurance companies acting like jerks? Don't call your mom. Call George McCoy at warrenallen.com.
Your home for the Oregon Ducks, the Fan Sports Network, 105.1
503-864-6326 is the fan text line. Also the YouTube chats. Fighting Joel in there right now about UW Oregon. Never thought I'd ever in my entire life be so pro Oregon. Usually
I told you.
Usually
It's
I'm
gonna
like
happen.
usually I'm like you when things happen like that. I just vote for mass chaos. Like
The old sweet meteor of death.
yeah. You can't tie in college football, but maybe this is the time to try it out. It's sometimes how I look at it. But that's that. We'll slide over to the NFL. Shame on me, if I'm being honest with you. Shame on me, because I sat down last night on the couch, ready to rumble, popcorn ready, the whole shebang, as I was ready to watch our Tampa Bay Buccaneers and Baker Mayfield, the little engine that could, the most needed person on any team in football, play the Rams.
And he died.
He died.
I should have known this was coming. Everything that you like.
That's not true. I like Dante Moore. He looked real good.
Everything that you like eventually dies.
That is true, dude. My Liverpool team sucks. I lost Brandon Sprague's Nottingham Forest 3-0.
We'll love to see
at
it.
home.
We love to see
Are
it.
you kidding me?
Wonderful.
They might get relegated.
Beautiful.
Yeah, things that I like are never good. It was really sad to see. When Baker went down at the end of the first half after chucking that ball not very far, and you saw him on the ground, dude, I could tell he was hurt, but I could, feel him through the television.
What's funny is they're scrolling across the ticker right now. Buck's not ruling out Mayfield for Sunday.
Well,
He's got a sprained shoulder.
Well, it's because it's all you got, dude. Old Two Gloves should be coaching high school right now.
It's just like, come on, man. What are we doing here?
I felt really bad for him. I could feel him on the turf, kind of knowing his season has slipped away. And that's a tough place to be.
The injuries were just too much, man. They were just too much.
And boy, did he try his damnedest to overcome those injuries. And what's worse is, they're starting to get healthy. I think there's reports that Bucky could be back this coming week.
He's supposed to be back for the last 3 weeks.
Godwin's, getting there. Also, I think part of it is, look, the Rams are just really good. I was really critical on Matt Stafford in the comparison to Sam Darnold's game against the Seahawks last week. Matt Stafford was great.
Yeah, he was fantastic.
He was fantastic.
A bounce back game. He was phenomenal.
That's why you see the MVP leader in old man Matt Stafford. And the defense was good. They gave Baker Fitz all game.
Stafford's last 8 games, 25 passing touchdowns, 0 picks.
That'll do it.
That'll do, pig.
The Rams, to me, are no question the best team in football. I'm not
Oh.
talking the NFC. I'm talking football. Who's better?
I don't want to say that they are, because their running game leaves
to be desired.
Yeah, but their defense is very good. Stafford is very good. Their wide receivers are very good. I mean, they've got weapons and seemingly 9 tight ends. It's just like they just find a guy over and over and over and over again at tight end. It's like, how the hell does this keep happening? But I look at that team. I'm not going to argue with you. They're 9-2. They've got a great offense. They've got a great defense.
Well, and I think a lot of it too is when I look around and think about the best teams in the NFL. Okay, let's say the Patriots. Okay, love Drake May. He's a kid. I have no idea. Buffalo Bills. Josh has been okay, but the Bills have a lot of issues on their team. The Seahawks, they got a Rams problem. And Sam Darnold turns the ball over too much.
The Rams are 9-2. The Patriots are 10-2. But here's
I like the
your
Colts,
difference.
but they've been exposed the last couple weeks. The Eagles, don't get me started. We'll do that tomorrow. I think they're the most complete team. And of all those teams that are competing, nobody, and I will 10 toes down, nobody is playing smarter, more efficient quarterback play than Matt Stafford.
Which is why he's leading the MVP.
And which is why he's a bona fide Hall of Famer. He won that Super Bowl. And we were like, yeah, now he's Hall of Famer, hun. It's like, since then, he's been the most impressed. I have been the most impressed of him since winning that Super Bowl than I ever was in his entire career.
Well, the Rams lead the NFL in point differential, plus 127. These are your top point differential teams. The Rams at 127, Colts at 112, Seahawks at 107, Patriots at 92, Lions at 83, and weirdly enough, the Chiefs at plus 76. But the thing about this is you go through these teams, what do they kind of all have in common? Yeah, the quarterback play and offense, but they're all good defenses. Rams, good defense. Colts, good defense. Seahawks, good defense. Patriots, good defense. Lions, good defense. Chiefs, good defense. Broncos, good defense. Packers, good defense. Texans, good defense.
So if all
Those
things,
are your top point differential teams.
so if all things are created equal, then you got to find the side piece that's going to elevate you to another level.
And who's the best quarterback of the Rams, Colts, Seahawks, Patriots, Lions, Chiefs, Broncos, Packers? It's Stafford.
It's Stafford, and it's not close. It's Jordan Love. I got questions. Bo
who's-
Nix. I got questions.
who's the
Drake
next-
May is young. Daniel Jones is Daniel Jones.
The next best quarterback in this list is Mahomes by resume, but
But we'll talk about. We'll get to them tomorrow too. There's nothing that says to me, "Ooh, yeah, look out for him."
Jared Goff.
That's the thing is like
sure, Goff.
But
I'm fair on Goff.
But after that, it gets really interesting. It's Jones, it's Darnold, it's Bo Nix, it's Jordan Love, it's C.J. Stroud. Like it is a whole lot of like
that's a craps table like no one's seen.
Yeah.
That I mean, I would go Sam Darnold
probably,
but question mark.
If you said Drake May, I'd be like, you can make an argument.
I love Drake May, but we've never seen him in this
No.
position, and I don't want to just cast him off because we've never seen it. Because I think there was some guy we never heard of named Tom Brady who went on to win, 7 Super Bowls and did it as a kid, middle and late. So I don't want to like axe off Drake May per se, but I got to see it first. It's like Jane Daniels. Oh, he could be good. I got to see it first.
Yeah, for sure.
Jared Goff has been like real wishy-washy this year. Jordan Love, don't get me started on my Super Bowl pick on Jordan Love.
Stafford is far and above the best quarterback in the league right now.
And Daniel Jones looks good if that running game is going, but that running game wasn't going.
There's an if.
And they lost. I think it's Stafford and the Rams, and I don't think it's close.
You know what? You've talked
I think
me
they get
into
into a
it.
shootout
It's
with
the Rams.
I think the Eagles could give them a run, but not if they do what they do in the second half. No way, shape, or form.
I think the Lions are probably their biggest competition.
I think so too.
And it's going to come down to Jared Goff's play.
And honestly, if it's not the Lions, it's the Seahawks. Look, think we talked about it all last week. The Seahawks played so bad.
And they had a chance to win
Sam
the game.
Darnold had 4 turnovers and they missed a 61-yard field goal to win. That's also weird division stuff. Those guys know each other.
Yeah.
Mike McDonald was hired in Seattle for Sean McVay and Kyle Shanahan. And it's coming to fruition. Boy, the West. I love it.
Who knew?
And Arizona sucks.
Yes.
Arizona sucks really bad.
Really bad.
Poor Gannon. Poor Jacoby. Jacoby was always like a likable backup, Boy, dude. He's not Geno level, but he's just getting destroyed.
Yeah, well, it turns out offensive line, helpful.
Helpful in the NFL. All right, we come back. Closing arguments is next. We'll call it a day and send you on your way. That's Danny. I'm Patrick. 105.1 The Fan.
It's time for Easy Play, brought to you by Home Z, making home improvement easy.
10th play of the march. Matthews stands up to throw. Fade ball right side. Devontae got it. Matthew Stafford drops it in the bucket. Touchdown LA. For Devontae, it's 5 straight games with a score. And for Matthew Stafford, he's got a touchdown strike in every game of the season.
That is Rams Radio Network talking to you about that touchdown to Devonta Adams. Hey, you know what else helps Matt Stafford be really good? Having a Hall of Fame caliber, I don't know if he's a Hall of Famer, but a Hall of Fame caliber receiver in old man Devonta.
Leads the NFL in multiple touchdown games.
Boy, people were like, does he have any left in the tank? I think his tank is just easy to go. This Easy Play brought to you by Homesy. Use Homesy's online calculator to estimate your project instantly. Make it easy. Call Homesy. That's Homze. Homesy.com.
We just finished our roof and siding with Homesy. I got a clear
Amazon, and more.
All right, that's going to do it for us. Closing arguments here brought to you by Leskin Law. Visit leskinlaw.com for more information.
These Mondays always fly by. Turns out when you have a million things going on.
They sure do. Coming up on tomorrow's show, we'll get some more NFL chatter. Who's going to give the knockout blow to KC? I thought it was going to happen, but it didn't. Let's
really
see.
hoping it did.
I have in these notes, all caps, Eagles suck. So we'll get to that. Plus some coaching news. One coach stays, one coach goes. Is a coordinator going to go? We'll have free consultation tomorrow at 12:15
We're
as well.
coach heavy tomorrow.
We are coach heavy tomorrow. Some BS questions for Lincoln Riley. Some Dan Lanning poking fun
Spiciness.
at yes, say where it just means more. You didn't think I was going to get out of today without doing that impression. So a lot of fun stuff to get to tomorrow. I'm really
And we'll
excited.
talk about J.J. McCarthy not being good.
Yeah, free consultation will be fun too. We can do a little turkey edition of
There
free
you go.
consultation. What you need coming into your weekend, whether it's sports or some ideas you might
Side
need.
dishes that you may need to clear before bringing to the table. If it has liver in it, no.
How does Patrick watch Thursday night football while being at his father-in-law's house for Thanksgiving dinner?
Yeah, man, don't.
What do I do there? Tonight's Monday Night Football. Carolina at San Francisco. Now,
you disgustingly want to watch this
I
game.
am so stoked, dude. I really do. I am going to sit down and I'm going to do some Carolina research before the game. And if Carolina wins, they might be my NFL team.
Okay, go.
I mean, not forever. I'm not choosing a team forever. But if they win, they could be my team. Because I would like to know why they are good.
These are two.
I think Rico runs the ball well.
These are two of the most fake teams I've ever seen in my entire life.
Without a doubt.
Who is less fake? That is the game tonight.
Oh, I think I can tell you that before I even watch the game. That's the San Francisco 49ers, just from a talent level.
Sure.
Talent, coaching, they're less fake.
Yeah.
They're less fake. They have injuries. They have just classic San Francisco problems. Ever since, if they wouldn't have lost to Mahomes in that Super Bowl, dude, this whole thing could be completely different. Jimmy G's got like 3 Super Bowls, and Shanahan is, the greatest of all time. But nope, it's Patty Mahomes and Andy Reid.
Luck, baby.
Thanks, guys. Yeah, I'm gonna sit down. I'm excited to I've checked in on Carolina now that I have Red Zone and stuff like that. I'm able to see a little bit more of the league than I normally do. I'm excited. I know Rico's been really good for them, and their run game's been awesome. It seems like the coaching staff is not hot fire anymore, and Bryce is not terrible. Yeah,
I still want nothing to do with them.
I know you don't. On the fan text line, some leftovers here to pick up. Weekly check-in on the Gunnar Stockton meringue meter.
Don't care.
Still don't care.
Perfectly fine college quarterback. I don't want him.
Still nothing. All right.
That's Kirby Smart Huckleberry. Go for it, dog.
On the fan text line, that was Baker letting you know I'm not coming back in this second half blowout. Guys always feel these injuries more in a blowout. I agree. When he was down on the ground,
It always hurts more.
It always hurts more. And the same person texting, should Kevin O'Connell want to punch Jim Harbaugh in the face for saying JJ was the best QB he's ever had since he had Andrew Luck and Justin Herbert?
Yeah.
Yes, you should be very, very mad about that. And then last little clean.
Sure. Go ahead, Harbaugh. We'll trade Herbert for McCarthy. There you go.
Yeah, straight up.
Straight up. He's the best quarterback you've ever had. There you go.
And I want a second pick. Throw in a second round pick with Herbert.
No, straight up. That's fine.
Well, if McCarthy's that much better, I want Herbert and a second round.
No, straight up.
And then this last person asking, did I miss Danny's thoughts on Chip Kelly getting fired? Look, I don't know how much room there is for us to really chat about it, so it's okay to bring up now.
Yeah. I don't blame Chip when you give up 10 sacks because your offensive line is the worst in the NFL and Myles Garrett sets up a tent in your backfield. I don't blame Chip.
I also wonder, like, there's been a lot of chatter, and I know you don't think this, and I don't think this because you don't either. There's been a lot of chatter that they need to clean house in Vegas.
I don't think that at all.
I don't understand
They don't have
that.
the talent.
Yeah, I don't understand that. I think Chip falls because the offense has been so bad, and somebody has to be accountable.
And Chip flat out said, "Look, I know as well as anyone, you have to win."
And I think we were talking about this before the show started. I think Chip's also just such an easily non-likable guy that if you need to pin it on somebody, do that. The concept of like, let's get Pete out of here. And look, I know I'm a Pete guy. I was a Pete guy when he was at SC. I was a Pete guy when he was a Pete guy when he was at New England because he had Drew Bledsoe after Parcells left. So and I'm a big Drew Bledsoe guy, obviously. So I've been a Pete guy throughout his entire career. And do I think the game has passed Pete by a little bit? Yeah, I think so. But I don't think Pete's there to win Super Bowls.
He wasn't brought in to bring the Raiders to Super Bowls. He was brought in to establish normalcy.
He's brought him in to bring him back to relevancy.
Yeah, and the thing is, they're just not good. There's none of the S around them.
No.
They're stabilizing. They're just talent. They have a talent deficit. Ashton Genty, Brock Bowers, Max Crosby. If you want to throw Jackson Powers Johnson on there when he's healthy, Colton Miller, fine. Other than that, who are you building with?
Yeah, I don't know what you're building with. I think that becomes really, really challenging.
And that's the thing, that's the task ahead of them is can they get guys in there? That's when it starts to matter. If they have guys and they're underperforming, then you can talk about coaching. But they don't have dudes.
Well, and how much is Tom's braids going to help that?
We'll see.
You know.
I'm just saying, don't take a quarterback in this draft, please.
Looking around the NFL at some stuff we probably won't get to this week. Let's see. Some overtime games that probably did not need to be in overtime.
Yeah.
What am I looking at here? Boy, Giants really had a chance to beat the Lions. Shout out Jameis Winston.
Yep. Giants fire their defensive coordinator.
Shout out famous Jameis. Dude, he caught a touchdown like he was T. Hines out there, dude. He stiff-armed a dude and walked into the end zone.
He's a big boy.
I love Jameis. Giants lose to the Lions, 34-27. There it is. There it is. Dude, for a while there, I thought the Jets were going to beat the Ravens. That game was ugly.
Yeah, well,
that game was gross until it wasn't.
There was a lot of gross football played in the NFL this weekend.
Would you like to spend 2 minutes on Shedeur Sanders as our only 2 minutes of the week?
God. Both sides, the people that hate him and the people that love him.
They're both obnoxious.
Please go away.
Yeah. How about he's just a 6th-round quarterback who's
The people that are sitting there saying...
I saw one throw that I was like, oh, dude, good on Shedeur.
That was one heck of a deep ball.
Sure.
Other than that, good win against the Raiders.
He was 11 of 20, and he had a team. His defense had 10 sacks.
You get the win?
Yeah.
Yeah,
but also, I'm a firm believer
because Myles Garrett is a Hall of Famer.
He's a backup quarterback. Can we accept
He's
that?
a backup to a
his
backup.
job
Yes, that's
as
totally
a
fine.
backup quarterback and got the win.
If the Cleveland Browns played the Kansas City Chiefs in the playoffs, who would get more television camera looks, T Swizzle or Dion? It was my red zone basically turned over to that because I think it was one of the last games being played, like time-wise near the end of the game, other than Cowboys-Eagles. And boy, anytime Shedeur got sacked, he would hand the ball off and the camera would go to Dion. Look, I get it. Dion is Dion. What are we doing here?
Taylor Swift, though. She's got a 1 billion person following.
Understood, but boy, they would not stop with the camera on Dion.
Because you get the psychos on both sides. The haters and the lovers, man.
I would just like to find somebody. I know he's on the board behind me, and we're not supposed to talk about Shedeur Sanders, but it's new information, new opinions. He's not very good.
He's fine.
He's
entirely fine.
He made a couple throws, but that really nice throw, I can't remember who it
Most
was.
all quarterbacks in the NFL should be make some throws. That's why you're in the NFL.
A couple of those were wide open,
Yeah.
and a couple of them were like a 20-yard, not even a 20, like an 8-yard throw, like an 8-yard throw that a receiver broke some tackles. So that's a Shedeur thing now.
Entirely fine. The advanced numbers all hate him. The overall production was meh. So it gave enough fuel to the fire for both sides to be like, see?
We'll get on this. It's asked on the YouTube chat, does anyone take Chip or is he back to college? I think Chip's done. I think the Chip experiment is done.
Yeah, I don't know. I think
Maybe something cool.
I think it firmly falls in like whatever he wants to do.
Yeah, not for me. Closing arguments brought to you by Leskin Law. Visit LeskinLaw.com for more information. Leskin Law's one-day divorce mediation, peace treaties, not war. Duck Insider is next, and then Dusty Era on the Fan Happy Hour. We will check you guys tomorrow. Thanks for being a part of our Rivalry Week Monday. For Danny Meringue, that's Casey Smith on the ones and twos. I'm Patrick Harris. Go do something I would do.
Bye.